very warm, sunshiny afternoon here in Tampa. Hi, everybody. I'm Frank Lieber, along with Roy Jefferson. Going to be a case of youth against experience, and what better way to personify that than by looking at the two quarterbacks.
That's certainly right, Frank. You've got Randy Hedberg from Minot State in North Dakota, who's 22 years old. He's got a rifle arm, and he's a scrambler. And then on the other side, you got that old war horse, Billy Kilmer, 38 years old, 16 years difference. But he does it week in and week out, just like he did last week against the St. Louis Cardinals when he threw for 3 touchdowns. And it looks like it just might be a great football game out here today.
We'd like to welcome Mr. Jefferson to our CBS broadcast crew for the first time, and I understand you've done some welcoming of your own at your house over the weekend.
That's right. My wife, Candy, presented me with a 6-pound, 15-ounce baby boy just yesterday.
Isn't that far out?
I've got a cigar.
Oh, yeah, that's just what I need. Just think about 35 years, and you'll be old enough to play for George.
Hope not.
Wide receiver, no doubt. Things are happening down in the field. Let's go down there right now. And we're ready to kick it off as you look at the referee crew, headed by Cal Lepore. Redskins won the toss of the coin, and they have elected to receive, quite naturally. And Dave Green, number 4, will be kicking off for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First meeting ever between these two clubs. Eddie Brown, number 25, is the deep man in single safety. At Bob Brunet over on the far side, and here we go. Some 60,000 fans in attendance. Kick is short. Brown moving up to the 15, 20, 25, across the 30-yard line to the 31. And the Redskins will put it in play from there.
You know, Eddie Brown's been playing in place of...
Here's Billy Kilmer, and here's a play they were working on during warm-ups. Watch it closely here, Roy. Look, no ball.
I think that might be hard to get to. I know a quarterback that was cut for that, doing that too many times.
1st and 10. Kilmer at the throttle of the Washington Redskins. From their 32-yard line, it is Mike Thomas. Behind the line of scrimmage, he'll be pinned for a loss. Officials mark it at the 29, so it'll be a loss of 2, make it 2nd and 12. And Leroy Selman, number 63, the number 1 pick in the league, leading the charge.
Look at that. That's what McKay said. He said that nobody in this league, he feels, can block Leroy Selman. And if they don't get a hold of that kid soon, it's going to be a long day.
As the Redskins backfield as they open up. And the Washington receivers. And no changes in that offensive line. Thomas squirting through this time, getting out to the 34-yard line. He got the 2 he lost in the previous play, made a couple of more. That'll set up 3rd down and 8 for the Redskins at their 34-yard line.
That was just great play by the linebackers there. They play that three-man line with those 4 linebackers. And that's a strong point of Tampa's team, that defense, and especially in that linebacking crew. And they, Thomas popped through that clear.
No score early in the game.
I tell you, Tampa is playing football. Look at this pass rush. Both defensive ends are in there, and a linebacker also. I tell you, the Redskins, if they don't wake up, they're going to have a long day today.
Council Rudolph, number 78, a one-time St. Louis Cardinal, leading the charge. The penalty offside against the Redskins decline. That sets up the punting situation. And Mike Bragg is in to do the kicking. Isaac Higgins is one of the deep men for the Buccaneers. And Danny Reese is the other.
Frank, this is a trend of teams coming in here overconfident with a team like this. This is the kind of thing that can start them off in a victorious way.
Snap a little bit low from Fritsch, but he gets it away in good order. Short punt, bouncing at the 50 and picked up at the 40 by Reese. And Tampa will come up with excellent field position at its own 46-yard line as its offense goes to the attack for the first time. And that's where the Buccaneers have had their problems this year offensively. They have not scored an offensive touchdown through their first 3 games. And you can tell from what you're hearing in the background that this crowd is a great asset to the young Buccaneers as they seek their first victory ever in the NFL. The Tampa Bay backfield. Ricky Bell is out with a shoulder injury. He will not play today. He's on the inactive list. Randy Hedberg, number 14. is the Tampa Bay quarterback. They've got Owens in motion. Hedberg back to throw on the first play from scrimmage, and the pass is short.
That was Dennis Johnson getting in there. And, of course, Dennis Johnson had a great game last week against St. Louis, having 2 sacks. And that was the only thing that prevented them from gaining 10, 15 yards on that play.
Ed Williams, number 43, the running back, was the intended receiver. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Buccaneers.
Tampa doesn't look like an 0-17 team, Frank.
Well, they play excellent defense, but they have had all kinds of problems moving the football. Their only touchdown this year was scored last week against Dallas by the defense. They picked up a fumble and ran it in 47 yards. Hedberg, the rookie, slips the ball to Anthony Davis, the former Southern Cal star, squirts to the left side, gets out to the 48 for a pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down 7. John McKay sends in his wide receivers, alternating plays from the bench.
And John McKay Jr. is one of those coming in to bring the play in.
3rd down 7 for the Bucs. Here's the Redskins defense.
You got Ron McDowell at left end.
There's one change there. Butts is not starting. He's got a bad ankle, and Bill Brundage is in there. Butts, as a matter of fact, was placed on the inactive list prior to the game. 3rd and 7. Hedberg flushed out of the pocket and slips and falls back at the 32-yard line.
Number 77, Bill Brundage, who, of course, replaced Butts today, came in on that. They had a trick on. Looked like Washington figured they're going to have to do a lot of tricks on that line and a lot of blitzing to get to the quarterback. If he hadn't slipped down, though, it might have been a different story right there.
Dave Green, number 3 punter in the NFC, averaging 42.6, as the Bucs are faced with a 4th and 22. Eddie Brown, one of the premier punt returners in all of football, is back. Nice high punt. Brown at the 30-yard line.
Watch
45,
out.
Watch out the wall. 45, 50, and run out of bounds at the 47-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So Eddie Brown up to his old tricks once again as the Redskins form the wall perfectly, and he came up with an excellent punt return. Tampa Bay players shaken up on the return. We'll be back in just a moment.
Just as soon as me and my 8 friends here finish up and get this wagon home.
When do you say Budweiser? Whenever the moment is right for a great beer. After the work is done, while you're still having fun, the king of beers is waiting for your call. When you say Budweiser, Budweiser, you said it all.
Inside this new Firestone radial tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel. 7 around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it. 7, 2, 1. The new steel-belted radial 721. Now, from Firestone.
Johnny Cash is your host for the 11th Annual Country Music Awards, live from the Grand Ole Opry, tomorrow night at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain.
Randy Johnson was the injured player for the Bucs, but he moved off the field under his own power, so he's all right. Here's the Tampa Bay defensive line. They play that 3-man front.
That's right, and they've got 3 good men up there on that front line with Leroy Selman, Pears, and Council Rudolph, who, of course, they picked up from St. Louis.
1st and 10, Redskins from the Tampa Bay 47. Charlie Taylor at the 35, down to the 32-yard line. Taylor, who has been used sparingly so far this year at the age of 34. Every time he catches one, it's a new NFL record.
That's right, and every year, every time Charlie catches a pass, it's a record. And he's been great on those quick posts, and that's what that was there. Just a quick post over the middle, and Billy throws that ball better than that pass there, almost as good as any quarterback in the league.
You've seen a few of those in your day?
Oh, sure, definitely. I've seen a few safety men in my day off of that pattern also.
Danny Bugs comes in replacing Taylor, who's going to need a bit of equipment repair. His shoulder pad looked like it tore loose. 1st down at the 32-yard line. Riggins going outside and running over a safety man at the 26-yard line. Mike Washington came up, finally made the stop on him, but a pickup of 6 in the play. It'll be 2nd down 4, and here comes Taylor back into the lineup.
they're really intent on trying to run that left side where Leroy Selman, of course, who's their best defensive lineman, is sitting right out there. And I guess there's something they know that we don't know, because Leroy Selman is supposed to be the best that's come in this league for many a year.
Second down. Redskins need 4 for the first down. Ball is at the Tampa Bay 26. Thomas, nothing. And again it was Selman, number 63, the former All-American from Oklahoma, who dropped in for no gain.
Tampa Bay defense is a tough club.
You know, they played Minnesota down here and held them to 9 points.
That's right. Dallas to 23. When you hold the Dallas club to 23 points, and I think defensively they didn't have that many points scored on. The offense actually gave up a couple of touchdowns in that game.
Also played well against Philadelphia. Third down, 4. Thomas.
Great
Again,
football.
nothing. Dave Pear, number 76, the middle guard in that 3-man front, the nose guard in effect, made the stop. He was a Baltimore Colt reject, and the Redskins will be forced to the field goal attempt here.
I tell you, right at the point of attack, they look like they're getting right clear through there, but as soon as that back pops through, somebody is right there every time.
Mosley will attempt a 44-yard field goal. There has been only one field goal over 50 yards kicked in the NFL this year, and it was Mark Mosley who did it. He has a 51-yarder to his credit. It is plenty long, and it is good.
Great kick.
So Mosley gets his 4th field goal of the year in 6 attempts. And the Redskins are on the scoreboard first with 10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the opening period of play at Tampa Bay Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
Introducing the Ford in your future, the new Ford Fairmont. A new car designed for today and the years ahead. At 33 miles per gallon highway, 23 city, Fairmont has the highest mileage ratings in its class. Yet it has 90% of the head, leg, and shoulder room of most large cars. And base sticker prices for the Fairmont line start at just $35.89. Fairmont, roomy but with mileage like a small car, and the lowest sticker price in its class. Test drive Fairmont, the newest, better idea from Ford.
Dawn launch, Sea of Japan. The Navy. See a recruiter or call toll-free. It's not just a job, it's an adventure.
This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL. It's intended for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the National Football League is prohibited. The kick is fumbled by Higgins back at the 5. He's to the 10 and tripped up at the 15-yard line. Like Bob Brunet, number 26, was down there quickly for the Redskins, so it'll be 1st and 10. You and I were talking about how much time George Allen spends with those specialty teams. It's unreal, isn't it?
That's right. Every day they, in meetings, they have 3 meetings a day, plus they practice on the field 3 different times and at least a half hour at each stint. And it pays off for them. And I learned while I played with George Allen, it's a special teams is 1/3 of the game, definitely.
1st and 10 for the Buccaneers at their 15-yard line. They trail by a score of 3-0. Anthony Davis and Ed Williams are the setbacks. Here's Davis. Maybe a yard. Trying to run up the middle. Buccaneers really hard hit by injuries. Offensively, they've lost. Well, their 2 tight ends are out. So they're starting a rookie free agent at tight end. And, of course, they lost 2 quarterbacks before the regular season got underway. They had Mike Barilla, and they lost Huff, and Huff is just now coming back, so they're hurting there. And most of the running backs are beat up, particularly Ricky Bell, their number 1 draft choice, and he is out of this game. 2nd and 8 from the 17. Williams forward to the 20-yard line. That'll set up 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Williams is starting in place of the other fullback behind Bell, DuBose. And he looked good in their last game that they played. Dallas is losing 3-0 to St. Louis at the present time in the first quarter on a 32-yard field goal by Jim Bakken.
I imagine Redskins fans will be interested in that particular score all afternoon, and we'll keep pace for you. We'll have all the other scores for you as well as we go along, so be sure and stay tuned. 3rd down, 5, Tampa. Here's Hedberg, still looking for his first completion. Penalty marker down as the pass intended for Davis, incomplete at the 28-yard line. AD, they called him in Southern Cal, man who once scored 6 touchdowns in a single game for John McKay. Got a holding call upcoming against Tampa Bay.
He's a great athlete. And, he has a lot of money, too, purchasing his own contract from Canadian League there to get down here and play.
Holding, 70, off, penalty decline, 4th down.
Daryl Carlton, the offensive tackle of the Buccaneers. Flag down for holding. Declined by the Redskins. That sets up 4th down. Green to punt, and Eddie Brown, who did an excellent job on the first punt by the Buccaneers, setting Washington in position for that field goal, is deep. Beautiful kick again. Brown back to his 33, 35, 40. Into the 43-yard line. Coming up next weekend on the CBS Sports Spectacular, a trio of events I think you're going to enjoy. The Jockey Club Gold Cup. That's live coverage of that big event from Belmont Park. The Chunichi Cup. That is the highly acclaimed competition featuring Nadia Comaneci of Romania and Nellie Kim of the Soviet Union, a gymnastics event. And then I guess it'll be 3 of the world's strongest men competition. All coming up next weekend on the CBS Sports Spectacular. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 42-yard line. Penalty markers go down as Kilmer hands off to Riggins. Might have been Dave Pear, number 76 of Tampa, who jumped.
I think that was Frank Grant. He jumped off sides out there. I don't know what happened inside, but outside here, Frank Grant jumped before the ball. And this is the kind of thing that George Allen hates, you know, and this is the kind of thing that he feels is a detriment to their team. Washington, being as conservative as they are, cannot stand mistakes.
Yeah, let's see. That have been offsetting penalties. See if the ball goes anywhere in this case. Maybe Cal will give us a word. Talking it over there with Kilmer. Here he comes. Tell us about it.
I think after that first series,
encroachment, defense, offset, 1st down.
So we're right back where we started. 1st down 10 with the ball at the 42-yard line.
I wasn't looking at the monitor.
Miami and Baltimore really having a track meet. Baltimore leading Miami 31-28 with 8 minutes left to play. Here's Riggins, caught behind the line by Council Rudolph. You don't think that Tampa Bay defense is tough? Look at it again.
Just a great defensive play. Council Rudolph, nobody even touched him. George Stark probably missed him. He was on an inside charge, and George Stark knew he had to hook him and took that step out. And Council just blew inside and knocked Riggins for that loss.
That may be great defensive football, but it's also a mistake offensively for a guy to blow in there that free. Council Rudolph, a reject of the St. Louis Cardinals, who came to Tampa. He's one of Abe Gibron's prime reclamation projects. 2nd down 14. Redskins from their 39. Thomas 45-50, and Thomas in Tampa Bay territory will be close for a 1st down at the 48-yard line of the Bucks. There's a guy get you the yardage.
Now look at that. They popped through. He's popped through several times. This is the first time he's been able to continue on. It was a very good block by Ron Saul in there, and it was just a matter of getting those linebackers. If they can get to the linebackers, they can be successful running against this team. But if you don't get those linebackers, buddy, they will kill you all day long in that three-man line up there.
3rd down, less than a yard for the 1st down for the Redskins. At the Tampa Bay 48, they've got Jerry Smith in there as a 2nd tight end. Calvin Hill, who checked into the ball game for that particular play. on the carry over the right side, and it may be close enough for measurement.
It looks close. I think they got that first down. It was a great effort by Calvin Hill. He's playing much better football this year, and I think he's accustomed to the Washington system now.
I think Calvin's particularly happy that he isn't playing more. I saw him in the hotel today, and he had kind of his long face on. He wants to play more, but with Riggins and Thomas ahead of him, what are you going to do?
That's right, and he's a tailback. He won't play in Riggins' spot, and he's got to play where Mike is. And George Allen is a quick tailback-oriented coach, and he's not going to. I don't think he's going to make that move right now.
Redskins picked up the first down at the 48-yard line.
You know, Frank, but one thing is happening. They're playing Calvin more. They're shuttling backs in and out more than he has in the past. He used to, when Larry Brown was there, just run them until they drop.
Charlie Taylor is wide to the left side, and Frank Grant is in the slot inside of Taylor. Kilmer, good protection. Got Grant at the 32-yard line. And that is good for another Washington first down.
You know, that's a play called a Y stop. This is a Y stop that they call it from this slot formation. And Frank goes down about 12 yards and just curl in. Well, what he did there, the linebackers were sitting right in front of him, so he just slid inside, and Billy just kept watching him and caught him coming across the middle there.
First and 10 for the Redskins at the Tampa Bay 32. This drive started at the 42-yard line. Redskins open it up a little bit with just one running back. Riggins. Kilmer lets fly. And Fugit at the 10-yard line. Gene Fugit is down to the 5 at his first and goal to go. Made it look easy.
I knew that after not being able to run the ball, I thought Billy may go to the air more, and if he's throwing the ball like this all day, Tampa could be in trouble. It was a great catch by Gene Fugit. All it was is splitting the zone there. They get into that Sam zone defense, and there's nobody right over the middle. Fugit scored on the same pass against St. Louis just last week.
Officials mark it at the 6 at his first down goal to go. Kilmer has hit all 3 of his pass attempts for a total of 51 yards. And when he is hot, look out. Going to try to run it from here. Thomas, touchdown.
Beautiful cut. Absolutely beautiful cut that Mike made there to get in there. That was slated to go outside, but
well, look at it again here. He does make a great cut on this. He almost went through untouched, really.
Tim Stokes is trying to hook Selman. He can't hook him, and Mike just makes a great cut back up inside against the grain to score that touchdown.
A couple of years ago, this guy gained 919 yards on the ground. He was Rookie of the Year. Last year, became the second man in Redskin history, in addition to Larry Brown, to go over 1,000 at 1,101 yards rushing, and he's off to a fairly decent start this year. Extra point try is good by Mosley, and the Redskins have jumped out to a 10-0 lead with 5 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the opening period.
And everybody's got to remember that Mike Thomas didn't have any training camp whatsoever. He's still in training camp.
Got word that Houston's leading Pittsburgh 17-10, and Terry Bradshaw has been taken to the hospital in Houston to check on an injury to his ribs. Some interesting results around the league, and as we said, we will be passing those along to you throughout the course of the afternoon. Oakland beat Cleveland today 26-10. The Jets beat Buffalo 24-19. Philadelphia over the Giants 28-10, and New England shut out Seattle 31-0. Tampa Bay gets Seattle next week, and that is what they're calling Expansion Bowl 2.
Yes, and I think Tampa is really looking forward to it this year, hoping that they can maybe come up with their number 2 victory. Of course, looking forward to beating Washington today.
Well, they thought maybe they could sneak up on the Redskins since Washington's coming off a tough game and might be looking ahead to Dallas next week, but the Redskins starting off looking pretty darn good. That's Reese. 20, 25, 30,
gone, look out.
40, and caught at the 46-yard line. Danny Reese.
That was a great run back.
Larry Jones making the stop with an assist from the kicker. Watch him here.
And this is something that this is where Tampa could do some damage to the Redskins. They've got a lot of speed on their team, and this is where they've got to score. Their offense isn't moving the ball, and they're going to have to score on defense or score on the special team.
Reese is one of 7 former Southern Cal players on this Tampa Bay roster. Anthony Davis to about the line of scrimmage, certainly no more than that.
You know,
And
Pat
the Redskins
Fisher,
wrap him up.
I think Pat Fisher is hurting worse than they thought he was. Gerard Williams is in there at the left cornerback position right now. And as you said earlier, Frank, Butts was put on the inactive list today because of a bad ankle. Of course, Bill Brundage is starting at left defensive tackle for him.
Second down, let's call it 11 for the first down with the ball at the 45-yard line of the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is still looking for its first down of the ball game. Hedberg is buried by Brundage back at the 34.
And that's what Butts and Brundage were alternated when Butts was healthy, and Butts played on the first couple of downs, and Brundage would come in. Brundage would come in to rush the passer, and he shows that he is a good pass rusher with that sack there.
Hedberg is 0 for 2. That's the first time he's been sacked. And now the Buccaneers are faced with a third down and 21 from their 35. Hedberg again with a big rush.
There's another fumble.
Loses the ball. Dennis Johnson trying to fall on it. Who's got it? Tampa Bay recovered at the 26.
That's something that coaches will teach their defensive linemen not to ever do when they're in a crowd, not to step and pick up the ball. If he'd have jumped on it immediately, Washington would have had a great field position right there.
Yeah, imagine Mr.
Darren Talbot got in there on that play and caused the fumble. Dennis Johnson was the first one over there. Brundage was there, but the Miami man came up with that recovery.
All right, back to punt once again. Dave Green, snap is low. Again gets it away. A little bit shorter this time. Brown at his 38, 40, 45, 50, and out of bounds at the 41-yard line of the Buccaneers. And again, the Redskins come up with excellent field position. I'll take another look at that fumble here. And I imagine Dennis Johnson, when he looks at the films with the coaches on Monday, is going to get a little talking to about falling on fumbles.
Right. Darren's a good old Texas boy. He got in on that play and caused that fumble. And Dennis Johnson, number 61, was the first one over there. If he falls on it immediately, they may have that ball right there. But as it is, Tampa recovers the ball.
First and 10 for the Redskins at the 43-yard line of Tampa Bay. Going to the ground again with Riggins, making the handoff inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line.
They got Calvin Hill in there now in place of Mike Thomas. And this is what I've said. They never did this before, and shuttling those backs in early in the game like this.
Second down 7 for the Redskins at the 39-yard line of Tampa Bay. A little over 3 minutes left to play in the opening period, and the Redskins leading at 10-0. Taylor to the left side, set inside of him is Frank Brent. Kilmer to Calvin Hill, and Hill loses the ball at the 30-yard line, and this one goes to the Buccaneers.
Fumble again.
Tampa Bay wound up with the football twice, and on each occasion, I believe it was number 56, Cecil Johnson, who came up with the ball.
Calvin makes a good move here and a good cut up field. He got hit, and it hit right on the ball and knocked it loose. And this is a big break for Tampa right now.
So Tampa gets the ball, and Tampa has come up with a new quarterback. They decided to go with the veteran Gary Huff at the 28-yard line in their own end of the field. Huff operating with a Joe Namath type knee brace. Gives to Anthony Davis, and Davis loses the ball. Who's got it this time?
Comedy of errors.
Redskins get it back at the 42.
I guess that humidity is causing the ball players to perspire a lot, and that ball must get awfully slippery. And that does happen an awful lot when it's hot and humid.
Looked like Brundage on the bottom of that pile, and so the Redskins get it back to the 41-yard line. Nothing but frustration for the Tampa Bay offense.
With these kind of mistakes, you've got to, it could be in Tampa's favor if this happens all day long, but if they don't take advantage of it and keep coughing the ball right back up, Washington just might slip by you.
Kilmer, 3 out of 3 for 51 yards here in the opening period. Riggins jammed at the line of scrimmage. 76 is Dave Pear, and he led the defensive charge. Something to look forward to on CBS tomorrow night. Monday is out of this world as Logan's Run moves into a new time slot. That's a show that's a lot like Star Wars. If you like that, I think you'll like Logan's Run. Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central and Mountain Time on CBS.
That Tampa defense is still impressive. Even after the touchdown, they still look like a good football team.
Well, you got to get discouraged. I mean, I would if I was the defense, because the offense doesn't do anything. 2nd and 10. Redskins from the Tampa 41. Kilmer gets it away, intended for Grant, and almost picked off. Good defense by Mark Cottney, number 33 of the Tampa Bay secondary.
That was a great defensive play, because if Frank gets that ball coming across the middle, it could be all the way. Billy does a great job here stepping up into the pocket there, because he almost got sacked. Great defensive play.
That's his first misfire of the afternoon. He's 3 out of 4. Redskins 3rd and 10.
Frank Grant is the big play man for Washington in the passing situation.
That's one reason you're up here, right?
That's definitely one of the reasons I'm up here.
Kilmer. Boy, he's waiting forever, and finally Selman gets him, but a marker is thrown on the play, and it was thrown right around the pocket, which normally would indicate holding.
Looks like there's a sack plus there's a holding penalty.
See if we can see something here on the replay. They held him out a long time, but you don't keep Selman out that long. Call is holding against the Redskins, and it's going to be declined because it puts the Redskins into a punting situation.
That Tampa defense keeps playing football like this here. This is going to be a very interesting game coming into the latter part of this game.
Mike Bragg ready to punt. Bragg averaging 37.3 on the year coming into this game. Aims it for the near sideline. Coffin corner. Reese watches it go out of bounds at about the 10-yard line. Pretty good kick.
Bragg is
going to mark
good.
it at the 9. A lot more action in store for you on CBS next Sunday afternoon. We got another doubleheader. Regional contest started off. You've got some good games. Atlanta against Buffalo, Green Bay versus Detroit, and St. Louis at Philadelphia. Also San Francisco against the Giants and Chicago at Minnesota. Those are all early games. Now, depending on where you happen to be, the late games are going to be interesting too. Washington, the Redskins and the Cowboys in their annual battle at Texas Stadium. And the other two games as well. New Orleans and Los Angeles, and Tampa Bay at Seattle, depending on where you happen to be. Ed Williams on the carry across the 15 out to the 17-yard line, and the fans applaud since he hung on to the football.
I tell you, that's been that's one of the reasons why I think Dave Butts was playing in there. I don't know if Brundage was the cause of that, but that's right over that defensive tackle slot there where he gained that yardage.
1:25 left to play in the opening period. Gary Huff, obtained in the offseason from the Chicago Bears at quarterback. Here's Davis. Oh, he's an exciting runner. Even on a 3-yard gain, he picked up enough for the first down. If everything's in order, and Tampa Bay has its first down of the afternoon.
Look at him. Anthony Davis is just a super exciting runner. He looked like he's run for 20 yards already the way he's run that ball just now. And of course, all of those Southern California fans remember him when he was in college. One of the greatest that ever came out.
1st and 10 for the Buccaneers at their 21-yard line. Huff back in the pocket. Lets it fly long. Intended for Owens. The Tampa Bay bench is called for interference, but they don't get the call.
That was very close there. Gerard Williams was covering on that play, and it could have been a holding penalty, interference penalty there. But it's a technique being used here that Pat Fisher uses a lot. And all he does is try to cut off the man. But Gerard got behind him and stuck a hand in there. It looked like he touched him before the ball got there.
2nd and 10 for the Bucks at their 21-yard line. On the delay, no running room for Davis. Hanberger was in there quickly, so was Brundage. And Davis is nailed behind the line for a loss of a couple of yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
You know, Anthony Davis is an exciting-looking runner, but he just doesn't seem to have that same quickness or the acceleration that he had when he was in college. I don't know if it's just I haven't seen him enough, but it looks like he's lost some quickness.
There's the gun. And that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, the Washington Redskins 10 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers nothing.
Should have bought Mobile One. The wireless saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobile One. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobile One. Engine temperature hits 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobile One. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobile One, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
Panasonic invites you to take a picture of a voice with a Panasonic cassette tape recorder.
Things was a lot different than it is now.
All with built-in mics. Some with built-in radios. There are pocket models.
It should last another 50 years.
And even some that record in stereo.
Say something. Come on, speak something.
So take a picture of a voice with Panasonic.
Say something. Bark.
Welcome back to Tampa Bay. Temperature near 90 degrees. It is a very warm afternoon. Interesting to see how that affects the Redskins in the second half. By the way, at halftime, we have videotaped conversations with both coaches, George Allen and John McKay. We did it prior to the game, and I think you'll be interested in some of the things they have to say about their philosophy of building a team and all. Here's Huff on 3rd down, 12. Not quite. Almost a great catch, but not quite by number 82 is Gary Butler. Butler just joined the club this week, former Kansas City tight end. And when the two Kansas City, or rather the two Tampa Bay tight ends, went down with injuries, Novak and Moore, they added another one. They're also playing Dana Knapziger, who's a free agent rookie at that position.
If Eddie Brown, who was the nickel man on that defense there, hadn't fell down, he could have had an opportunity of intercepting that ball.
Green to punt, and the Redskins have 10 men on the line of scrimmage, but they're playing return all the way. Kick is a little bit short. Brown waits at the 50, steps forward to the 45, and that's it.
I tell you, if that ball had been kicked in the middle, he'd have had a great return on that left side. But it was kicked away from where they were returning the ball, and Eddie made the most of it in the yardage he gained.
And we told you Bradshaw was taken to the hospital in Houston to check on a rib injury in the Pittsburgh-Houston game. Now they tell us Pastorini has left that game with an injured ankle, so both starting quarterbacks are out. Last report we had Houston leading 17-10 with about, well, still in the third period. San Diego leads New Orleans 14-0. We'll get the penalty call here from Cal Lepore. So the Buccaneers, wound up with one of the interior men leaving before the ball was punted. Redskins refused the penalty, feeling they got pretty good field position here, so they'll put it in play with the first down at the Tampa Bay 45-yard line. Calvin Hill to the 41-yard line, a pickup of 4. It'll be second down 6.
Calvin is really getting off that ball quick, you know, and I think it's indicative of him being accustomed to the offense, because that's not the kind of ball he played in Dallas, because they had a strong offensive line. They seemed to flow, you know, and they overpower people. Here they block out, they jump out there quick, and their holes open quick. You've got to get to the line very quick.
What he's doing is getting warmed up for the Cowboys next week. Kind of a homecoming. Kilmer again handing off to Hill.
Great.
And this time Calvin is shoved back after maybe a yard to the 40-yard line. Tampa Bay defense led by Cecil Johnson, 56.
Look at this. This is a simple off-tackle play, and Calvin back to his old jumping through the line, and that linebacker caught him in mid-stride. Just a great defensive play on this part. McKay is very happy with the linebacking crew that he has.
They consider this is the youngest team in the National Football League. They average under 24 years of age and less than 3 years experience. Redskins average almost 7 years of experience per man. Try to get it out to Hill. Pretty good rush that time, put on by David Lewis, number 57.
Well, he had a great rush on him. Billy, this is a quick screen to Calvin Hill, and he threw it before he wanted to because of number 57 getting in there on him real quick.
Lewis, number 57, is the second-round draft choice of the Bucs this year, and he's from Southern Cal.
But Dewey Selman was sitting there waiting for him had he caught it anyway. The Bucs defense is just playing great.
Mike Bragg to do the punting. Higgins is deep along with Reese. Angling for the near sideline away from Higgins. Bounces inside the 10. Reese picks it up at the 5, and he is buried at that point. Well, that's one of those in-betweeners. The coaches say you're not supposed to catch him inside the 10-yard line, and that thing hit right about at the 10, and so I'm sure there was a little bit of indecision in there.
Well, they couldn't catch it in the air because it was too short, and he wanted to keep it from getting any closer.
So, time out of the field with 12 minutes, 41 seconds left to in the first half. Redskins lead it 10-0.
Inside this new Firestone radial tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel. 7 around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it. 7, 2, 1. The new steel-belted radial 721. Now, from Firestone.
5 on the 50-yard line!
Hey, Charlie, it was cold last night. You put in a Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone? You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone. We need Prestone.
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Coming up for you on the CBS Sports Spectacular next weekend, 3 great events. The Jockey Club Gold Cup, that'll be from Belmont, the Chunichi Cup, one of the world's great gymnastic competitions, and the World's Strongest Men category. I think you'll enjoy it very much. That's on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern Time. The Buccaneers in very poor field position back at their 5-yard line as Huff hands off to Williams. He gets it out to the 7, and Dennis Johnson wraps him up in short order. Right about those specialty teams, they're giving Washington excellent field position when they get the football. On the other hand, they're saddling Tampa Bay with the field position like this.
That's true, and I think that's the only thing that's saving Washington right now, because they're making mistakes. They're not really moving the ball that well on offense. Plus, the defense of Tampa is just throttling it.
Second down, 8. Up, staying on the ground, gives it again to Williams. Williams spent a couple of years in Cincinnati and was picked up on waivers. by the Buccaneers at the start of last season. One of their more consistent runners during the course of last season, but not an outstanding football player.
They're just waiting for that Ricky Bell to get back. He's got that bruised shoulder, and I don't even think he suited out today.
He didn't. He's on the inactive list. 3rd down and 5 needed for the first down. 3 wide receivers in there now. Owens, McKay, and Higgins. And Jimmy Dubois has come in at a running back position. Third and 5 from the 10-yard line.
Great play by the old pro.
Jimmy Dubois trying to get loose around the right side, tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. And the old Redskins defense did its job.
That was Ron McDowell, number 79, playing off of the offensive tackle's block and making that tackle there. And year in and year out, you just wonder where he gets it from. He's 38 years old. He had an interception last week against St. Louis. He's had 10 interceptions in his career.
See if the Redskins go for the block here. They've got 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Green standing 4 yards deep in the end zone. And again, they fade back, and they'll play a return. And the kick's a little bit short. Bounces at the Tampa Bay 40, takes a Tampa Bay hop into Redskin territory, and will be down at the 39-yard line. Boy, he got some kind of roll out of that.
That's where this hit came in good. Just like playing golf.
That's a 50-yard punt from what looked like it was going to be a 30-yard punt. Once again, timeout on the field with the Redskins leading 10-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, Schlitz wants you to have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word.
Hey, now's the time to pick up plenty of Schlitz.
Pass the word, pass the word, pass the word.
Because the Schlitz football offer is here. Look for this display at participating stores and save up to $5 on an official Wilson football. Come on.
Pick up Schlitz and have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word, pass the Schlitz.
In stage 1 of my life, I couldn't stand dull wheels. I'm the same in stage 2 with my new 78 Ford LTD2, the trimmer sportier LTD at a trimmer price, the LTD of mid-size cars. If you're a sporty guy who appreciates the finer things in life, welcome to stage 2.
Isn't it you in an LTD2? You'll never know till you try.
Welcome to LTD2.
A better idea from Ford.
Will you take off your clothes?
What?
You heard her.
They're TV's freshest new comedy team, On Our Own, premiering tonight following Rhoda.
I used to be a nice girl.
Well, we had a penalty marker down on that punch you saw a moment ago. It was against Tampa Bay for a receiver down the field too quickly, so they backed the Bucs up. They did it again, kicked another fine deep kick, and they have just been penalized again. So the Redskins now are going to force them back to the 2-yard line, half the distance to the goal.
These are kind of mistakes that Tampa Bay cannot afford to be making against Washington. They get in good field position here. Billy will probably put in the air right away and try and put another 7 points on the board.
Illegal motion is the indication given by the referee, Cal Lepore, and now Green is backed up against his end line. He has got up a couple of 50-yard kicks, which have been nullified.
I don't think they'll try and block it this time either. They'll probably have a return on it.
That's it. Redskins fading back for the return. Again, a beautiful punt. Eddie Brown at the 50-yard line, looking for some running room, and he is hit at the 46 of the Buccaneers.
That was great coverage.
So the Redskins take over. 1st and 10 at their 46-yard line.
Number 52 made a great play on that. Had he gotten by him at all, it would have been a long return.
Cardinals are leading the Cowboys 10-3. With 4 seconds left to play in the first period. St. Louis just got a 62-yard run from Terry Metcalf. Our score, 10-0 Redskins for early in the second period. Nice fake by Kilmer, gets it out to Charlie Taylor, and Charlie picks up enough for the first down at the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay.
This is a quick screen right here, and all Billy does is step back, get that ball out there. The offensive tackle didn't get out there to block for him going upfield, but Charlie just on his own just ran it up there and got a first down. Got about 12 yards on that play.
Maybe a couple of more scores. Baltimore has now jumped ahead of Miami 41 to 28. They were once down 28-10 in that game, and Burt Jones has thrown 4 touchdown passes. First and 10, Redskins at the 36-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hill and Riggins are the setbacks as John Riggins is upended as he crosses the line of scrimmage, picks up 3 to the 32-yard line. Mark Cotney, number 33, made the stop.
Well, that strong safety made a good play there. He faked like he was going to blitz, and he went back into his pass coverage and then came up and made the tackle because Riggins got through there cleanly. Had he not been there, Riggins could have been long gone. And of course, you know, he ran 53 yards with a pass last week against St. Louis.
Second down 7. Redskins at the Buck 32. Calvin Hill caught from behind by number 61, Dewey Selman.
Selman, boys. That was just a great play on Selman's part. He just ran him down from behind. He could not have been blocked at all. But I tell you, it didn't look like it was anything open over there anyway. That Tampa defense is just playing great football. Unbelievable defense.
Third down 7. Redskins at the 33-yard line of the Buccaneers. Washington leading 10-0. Kilmer out to Riggins. Johnson misses him. He's inside the 30 and out of bounds at the 25. But that, well, let's see. It's going to be very close for the first down. I think he's got enough.
Yeah, John Riggins is people don't realize how fast he is. And I think this here just points out the fact that John Riggins at 220, 25 pounds is a speedy back to be so big, besides being powerful.
Took a pretty good shot from Dewey Selman at the 24-yard line, but he's got the first down. Denver leads Kansas City 13-0 in the second period. Cincinnati 17, Green Bay 7. That's in the fourth period. And San Diego has beaten New Orleans 14-0. That's a final. First down, Redskins at the 24. Riggins run down at the line of scrimmage on the far side. Again, Dewey Selman, who is making his presence felt.
I think it's going to be quite repetitive mentioning Selman all day long. This kid is unbelievable. He's made great plays time and time again out there.
We'll have a complete recap of all the scores for you, all the finals and everything else at halftime. So be sure and stay tuned for that. Right now, 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the second period of play. Redskins leading 10-0. Second down, 11. Washington at the Tampa Bay 26. Calvin Hill to the 19. Richard Wood, number 54, making the stop.
There was a quick draw that time. Dewey Selman, the outside linebacker there, he's being blocked on by Ron Saul, but he just shucks Ron Saul right off and comes over and gets in on the tackle there on Calvin Hill.
Officials spotted at the 20, so call it third down, and the Redskins need a long 6 for the first down. Hill has now carried 6 times for 14 yards. Again, the swing pass to Hill this time. He's at 20, at the 15, and out of bounds.
He did a great tightrope job down the sidelines. He just might have gotten that first down. It's going to be awfully close. This is another screen pass. This is something that Washington's thrown at least 4 of them so far this game, and they've thrown very few screens. Now, why? Look at him go down that sideline.
Why is that, Roy? Why do you think?
For some reason, we just, it's been unsuccessful in throwing them, so they stay away from them. But that's something that, is always a must when a season starts.
Well, what are they seeing now, do you think, at Tampa Bay's defense that enables them to throw the screen?
They're seeing a pass rusher, the pass rusher, the defensive ends, and the linebackers in Billy's face every time. And they're going to try and throw screens and draws to gain some yards.
First down from the 13-yard line of Tampa Bay. Riggins gets it to the 10. That's Leroy Selman, number 63.
That defensive pass rush has been so effective. Look at Leroy Selman there. He cannot be blocked. This is what John McKay said. Last week, he was even tackled half the time, I understand.
Well, I imagine he's seeing a lot of double teaming, as you might well imagine. Second down, 6 for the first down, 10 for the touchdown. Redskins from the 10. Hill loses the ball. Ball is free and captured in the end zone for the touchback by Mike Washington, number 40, the Tampa Bay defensive back. So the Bucs will get it out at the 20-yard line as Hill fumbles it into the end zone.
Well, this Tampa defense is just unbelievable. Calvin Hill makes a cut up inside there and gets hit, and he fumbles the ball into the end zone. Had 84 recovered it, which he didn't, of course. It could have been a touchdown. The number 40 recovered that ball, and Tampa Bay has it going back the other way.
Mike Washington. Another of the youngsters in John McKay's secondary, and as Roy pointed out, they're playing super defense, even though they trail 10-0.
Mr. Highboom.
Huh?
Mr. Highboom.
Yes?
Yeah, look, we understand that you're taking a trip with us tomorrow.
Trip?
Yeah, well, we want you to know that Avis is working right now.
Avis?
It's vacuuming your car, checking the oil, brakes, even the air in the spare tire.
Spare tire.
One of the ways Avis tries harder is working at night, so you're ready in the morning. Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's a Chrysler Cordoba, and it's blue. See you in the morning.
See you in the morning.
We try harder, Avis, we don't know another way.
Want to cut your fuel bills? Whether your house is new or old, put insulation everywhere. It can save you money. Your attic, you need a 6 to 12-inch blanket of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Walls, full insulation. Unheated crawl space, insulate below the floor. Live where it's cold, insulate basement walls. See your Owens Corning fiberglass supplier to learn all about insulation. Insulation is cheaper than oil.
Well, as part of the cheerleaders for Tampa Bay, the swashbucklers, they call them down here, as their team has taken the ball away from the Redskins. On the fumble recovery by Washington. 1st and 10, Tampa from its 20. Gary Huff going out to Isaac Hagens, number 81, and the officials whistle it dead.
That was a great play by Joe Bird Lavender. He came up there that beat the offensive tackle there. It's the same play that Charlie Taylor ran in the last series with the Redskins. You see that offensive tackle coming out there now. He's supposed to block the cornerback, but Joe Lavender got up there so quickly that he missed him, and just a great defensive play on Lavender's part there.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Lewis Carter, number 32, has come into the Tampa Bay backfield for the first time. He's teaming with Jimmy Dubose as McKay continues to shuffle his running backs around. Huff drops it over the middle to Carter. That's only good for short yardage to the 22-yard line. He gained perhaps 4 yards in the play. It'll be 3rd down, and the Bucs still need 8 for the first down. They have, as we said, just 1 first down in the ball game so far.
I think if the referee hadn't gotten away that time, he would have gotten the first down. He had to dodge that referee. He drops back there. He's getting a good rush from Brundage there. He gets the ball, and if he can come this way, he may get a first down, but he's got to go back the other way because the referee is sitting right in front of him. He runs right into the defender.
Off on 3rd down, 8. Has it blocked on him. Incomplete. And again, the Buccaneers will have to punt.
That was Darren Talbot that got in there and got a hand on that ball, and he's been having a great year this year. He's got a couple of sacks already, and that's as good as a sack whenever you knock one of those balls down by a defensive lineman.
This will be Green's 6th punt of the first half. George Allen.
They've been trying to return every one of these punts, and if they ever get one, a good kick coming out of there, they just might get a long run back.
Nice kick by Green. Eddie Brown at the 30-yard line at his own end of the field. 35 and tripped up at the 38.
I'd say the special teams of Tampa has been playing good football because the offense isn't doing an awful lot. The defense is playing great football, and it's just a matter of not making mistakes.
4:59 left to play in the first half. Redskins lead 10-0.
everybody. This is Lowell Thomas. Alaska, tough on people, tough on auto parts. So we took Motorcraft heavy-duty batteries, oil filters, and tune-up parts to Alaska, testing them in 50 GM, Chrysler, and Ford cars and trucks. After 6 months of Alaskan pipeline country, less than 1% of the parts couldn't take the punishment. No matter what you drive, wherever you drive, ask for Motorcraft auto parts from Ford. Tested tough in Alaska. So long.
Here's something for you to look forward to tomorrow night on CBS. Logan Runs. Not Logan Runs. Logan's Run has nothing to do with football, but it takes you to the outer reaches of the earth for a mind-bending adventure every Monday. That's a new time. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 38-yard line. Kilmer.
There he is.
Wide open. Frank Grant is to the 40-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, that's the bread and butter play. That quick post to either side, strong or weak side. Of course, that was the strong side with Frank Grant that time. And he was open right from the beginning, but Billy had to wait until he cleared the linebacker there and get it to him. There's just nowhere to go. Look at those Tampa Bay defenders come in there.
You've run that thing 1,000 times. Is that mainly timing? Is it pretty well set up on timing?
That's all it is. You don't count. You don't look for yardage. I took 5 steps and boom, I was in there. And Billy is, like I say, he's great at throwing that quick post.
First down for the Redskins at the Tampa Bay 41-yard line. Riggins. Tough yard as he moves it inside the 40, maybe the 39.
Don't look like Washington's going to get anything on the ground against these guys. They're going to have to go to the air and go to the air a little more often and get out of this conservative playing right now. If they want to get, because anything can happen. They turn a big kick or something, or get an interception for a touchdown. This game is in jeopardy right from the beginning.
2nd down, 8. Nose of the ball just inside the Tampa Bay 40-yard line. Bucks have 1 first down. In fact, they haven't gotten across the 50-yard line yet. Kilmer overthrowing his intended receiver, Grant, who took a pretty good shot from Mark Cotney, number 33. It's always good for the ribs.
I tell you, I've gotten plenty of those. It doesn't feel too good.
Tony Dorsett has just run 77 yards for a touchdown. That Dallas-St. Louis game is now tied at 10.
Dorsett, the next O.J. Simpson. He's got a little bit to learn, but he's a great runner.
It's a shame he can't make the starting lineup yet, isn't it?
I know it, but Preston Pearson's a great back that he's got in front of him.
3rd down and 8 for the Redskins. Looked like Tampa Bay jumped offside. Markers down as Thomas is corralled at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And Dewey Selman is all over the football field. He made that tackle. But that right defensive end was offside.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Leroy Selman was offside, and Dewey Selman makes the tackle on the other side of the field. That's called brotherhood. I guess Dewey's over there telling me now, look here, big brother, you're going to have to stay on side, making these great plays, and they're calling them back.
5 yards against the Buccaneers.
Offside, 63. Defense, 3rd down.
So moving inside the 35-yard line, it is now 3rd down and 4. Cedric Brown comes out, and Danny Reese comes into the Tampa Bay secondary.
Billy likes to go weak side on 3rd down situations somewhere. He might even check down to a running back.
Kilmer has Grant. And
Great defensive play.
Grant hit again by Cotney, the same guy who got him on the sidelines a moment ago. And Frank will need some tending to. Boy, watch the shot that he takes here.
Actually, Frank made a great move coming inside, but he had double coverage, and an inside man, just as he missed the ball, got a good shot on him. That's when you get hit the worst, when you miss those balls in there. Just off his fingertips.
And those routes over the middle, I imagine it's a real thrill when they call that number, huh?
I've had my nose broken 5 times on those kind of passes. And it looks like it. My mother said when the baby came out, first thing she saw was my nose.
3 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first half here at Tampa Stadium, as Frank Grant gets the attention from the Redskin trainers.
He'll be all right, though. He's just shaking up, buddy. That's the tenderest spot on your body, that nose.
That sets up 4th down, and the Buccaneers still need almost 4 yards for the first down. Rather, Redskins need almost 4 for the first down with the ball at the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. So let's see if Mosley can do it from here. Theismann will put it down at the 42. This will be a 52-yard field goal attempt. Keep in mind, he has a 51-yarder to his credit this year. Good strong leg. It's far enough. It is no good. Minted off to the right at the distance, but just a little bit off in the accuracy department.
Mark Mosley's been kicking very well this year. He's kicking strongly, and he just missed that one. That was a tough one. His family is in town from Houston. I guess about 30 people came in campers just to see him today.
First and 10 for the Buccaneers at their 34-yard line as the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage. Gary Huff trying to reach J.K. McKay, the wide receiver, son of the head coach.
That was a great pattern that McKay ran. It was what we call a corner or a zig out. And he made a good move to the inside and got back out there wide open, but the ball was just overthrown.
So McKay comes out of the ball game, and he's replaced by Isaac Higgins at the wide receiver. Redskins leading 10-0.
Come on, out! Go!
Touchdown run by Mike Thomas, the only TD in the game. Anthony Davis to the 36-yard line for a pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down 8 as Chris Hamburger wraps him up.
I don't know if Anthony Davis really want to mix it up in there. With all that speed he has, boy, if he hit that hole a little bit harder instead of jitterbugging a little bit, I think he could break a few of those.
Yeah, Hamburger's amazing, isn't he? Comes back after that appendicitis thing. What did he miss? 4 games?
Yeah, he missed about 4 games, and I tell you, he came back and had a great game against St. Louis. Called a great game and played a great game against them.
Played the whole game against the Cardinals last week. 3rd down 9 from the 36-yard line. Up over the middle, intended for Lewis Carter. It's one they completed a little while ago, but it doesn't work this time.
Yeah, Kenny Houston had that covered all the way along with Harold McClinton. They were in there, and there's no way that anybody's going to beat Kenny too many times. Great football player and a great man.
Green in to do the punting. That's the time remaining in the first half. Green's going to be a little sore-legged after this one. This is his 7th punt of the first half. Hangs it up there beautifully. Eddie Brown waits. Fumbles it at the 26. Actually muffed it and kicked it out of bounds. Belongs to the Redskins. In that case, it's a case that's a muff, and in that case, it's the team that had possession.
I know exactly what George Allen is going through right now, and I can imagine what he'll be telling his team at halftime. These kind of mistakes here just cannot be made. Eddie Brown is one of the most sure-handed receivers in the league. Here he dropped that one, and then it was kicked off of one of his own players and out of bounds.
Redskins a little bit flat. First, Dallas was flat last week, too, when they played Tampa Bay. Mike Thomas back in the game, gets to the 22-yard line. But how can you not be flat when you're facing a team that hadn't won a game and has lost 17 straight?
That's true, but, I talked to a couple of the offensive linemen, Terry Hermling and Danny Nugent, and they were telling me they respect this Tampa Bay defense. It's just a matter of the offensive team just cannot get anything going for them.
I want to remind you once again as Billy Kilmer goes over to talk to George Allen about the CBS Sports Spectacular action coming your way next Saturday. the Jockey Club Gold Cup. That'll be live coverage of the 59th running of the event from Belmont. That's the third leg of the Fall Triple Crown for 3-year-olds and up. And for those of you who like gymnastics, and Nadia Comaneci, Nellie Kim of the Soviet Union, they were the heroines of the highly acclaimed Chunichi Cup competition. That event took place in Japan, and you'll see the videotape highlights of that, along with the strongest men competition.
Are they going to have them? They're going to have them pulling a truck this week?
Something like that, yeah, carrying a truck, one or the other.
I tell you, some of the things that they had them doing was just unbelievable.
So that's something to look forward to next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Frank Lieber along with Roy Jefferson. We're at Tampa Stadium, Tampa, Florida. Buccaneers and the Redskins. Have a rundown on all the final scores for you, as well as interviews with George Allen and John McKay upcoming at halftime. So be sure and stay tuned for that. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 22-yard line. Thomas and Riggins are the setbacks. Thomas lost maybe a yard. Leroy Selman again in on the stop.
Yeah, if I ran into a stone wall enough times, I think I'd try and go the other way. And that Leroy Selman is nothing but a stone wall over there.
It's like beating your head against concrete, isn't it? You figure sooner or later you're going to stop because it hurts.
That's for certain. Larry Jones has come in to replace Frank Grant at the flanker position, and he's in the slot right now this time.
Great handoff to Riggins. He gets across the 25 to the 26. He's still about 3 yards short of the first down. Redskins were content at this point to simply run out the clock, but now Tampa Bay stops it, calling a timeout with 1 minute and 8 seconds to go.
You know, I think a lot of things are happening right now that George Allen expressed concern over earlier today. These players just aren't ready to play good football. There's just been too many mistakes made, not only by the Redskins, but Tampa also, but they just make too many mistakes, and that's the philosophy of George Allen. He wants these veteran ball players because he feels they won't make mistakes.
4th and 3 for the Redskins at their own 26-yard line. Crowd somewhere in the neighborhood of 60,000 in attendance. They haven't had much to cheer about, except for defense.
These are some great fans, though. They've had three games here, over 60,000 people, and they haven't won one yet.
Tampa Bay has 1 first down offensively in the first half and has yet to cross midfield. 10 men on the line of scrimmage for the Buccaneers as Bragg awaits the snap. Here they come. Flag goes down as Bragg does too, and the Redskins will get it back. Hagan's smothered at the 22-yard line. But running into the punter will be called there, and the Redskins will get it back.
Yeah, Mike Bragg is punting the ball now, and he gets hit. They tried to block this one. There was a lot of them in there, and they run right into him. And, of course, the Redskins are going to get the ball now. There was good coverage on the play also, and I think that's because they were trying for the block. Nobody was blocking downfield there.
So the Washington offense comes back on the field with 57 seconds to go.
They'll get a first down, but I don't think they'll try and score. They can get a big play on the first one here. They just might try and get in field goal range or maybe go for the TD. But George doesn't like to take chances like this deep in his territory near the end of a half or near the end of the game.
Defense, first down.
Here to be David Lewis, number 57, who ran into the punter.
If they do take a chance, it may be with Larry Jones, with something over the deep middle there. Larry was very successful in preseason when he got a lot of playing time and catching the ball and catching it in a crowd and catching it in the middle. They've got a play from this formation here, a YN, that could bring that about.
Gilmer back to throw it. Going wide to Thomas. And Mike Thomas run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Not much there. Dewey Selman, number 61, made the stop.
That play is open that I was mentioning to Larry Jones over there. If they throw it, they ran a screen, of course, and they run that screen sometimes off of that same pattern that I mentioned. And if he wants to get in field goal range, that could be a play they come back with.
Second down, 11 needed for the first down. Actually a loss of a yard of the play. Nose of the ball is just inside the Redskins' 30-yard line. Charlie Taylor wide to the right side. Jones in the slot. Inside of him at the bottom of your screen. Thomas high-stepping his way out to the 37-yard line. Got a couple of more final scores for you. I think we'll save those for halftime. Third down 3. Sideline throw to Fugit. Wrestling match for the ball. Fugit came down with it at the 40-yard line and went out of bounds, stopping the clock with 26 seconds to go.
I don't know who caught that ball yet.
Well, they say that Fugit had it. Tie goes to the runner like in baseball, right?
That's correct. Billy played pretty conservative there, and he just didn't want to put it downfield. It was a great defensive play there. Fugit did catch the ball, and my man had his hand in there and was trying to grab it away.
Fourth down. Redskins still need a couple of yards for the first down. Looks like Tampa Bay's playing return this time. They've got 8 men up on the line of scrimmage. Bragg kicks it away, hangs it up there nicely. Hagan's backpedaling. Reese at the 10-yard line, up to the 15, and crawls forward to about the 18-yard line.
Totally down on the play.
First and 10 for the Buccaneers.
They have a legal man downfield on that play.
Yeah,
so
we've had that several times.
Go over again. I think we had some of everything so far in this first half, except an offensive flourish.
Shall we say it's been loosely played?
Very definitely.
So the officials bringing it back. That's at least the 4th time that we've had ineligible receiver downfield.
Illegal motions, 88. Offense, it's 4th down.
Danny Bugs was found down moving before the ball was snapped that time. He was probably afraid that somebody was going to get a position on him and rush the kicker that time and move late.
Bragg at his 20-yard line, kicks it away again. Kick a little bit short. Bounces at the 35-yard line and going to be down by the Redskins at the 32. So time for one play perhaps for Tampa Bay, and that'll be it as far as the first half is concerned. Redskins leading 10-0. Neither team has scored here in the second period. Mosley 1 out of 2 in the field goal department, and Mike Thomas with a short touchdown run, the only TD of the game.
Tampa Bay defense is really bottling up Washington's running game, and actually Billy hasn't been too successful throwing the ball, mainly because of the pass rush of Tampa Bay.
Gary Huff from his own 33-yard line, intercepted. Picked off by Kenny Houston at the 40. Time has run out in the first half to the 30. Tries to lateral the ball. I think he was trying to lateral it. Anyway, time has run out, and the first half is over.
It's still live,
well, let's see.
It's still live. Look at that. Is that great? I don't know if it's great or not. All these mistakes, but they were trying to score.
I don't think great is what I use, but I think he was trying to lateral the ball because he knew time had run out and he was being tackled. That is Joe Lavender, number 20, who wound up with the football. We'll look at it again. Watch the whole sequence of events here.
Maybe it wasn't great, but that was fantastic. Everything that happened on that one play. Kenny Houston has a nose for running the ball, and he gets back to the opposite side of the field, and it looked like he got it all the way, and then he's cut off there. He fumbles the ball. Gerard Williams picks it up, and he's the one. He laterals it back to to Brown, little Eddie Brown. Someone kicks it. Joe Bird picks it up, and he's gone. That is one way to end a half, I guess.
All right. That's it. That's the end of the first half with the score, Washington 10, Tampa Bay nothing.
Cicely Tyson for Color Track by RCA.
My rose is red, my skin is dark brown, and my dress is bright orange. If these colors don't look right to you, you should know about Color Track from RCA. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about. It actually adjusts the colors and locks them on track.
Before you see the color track system grabs it, aligns it, defines it, sharpens it, tones it, and locks the color on track.
RCA is making television better and better.
Ford means business in big trucks. And now Ford announces the CL9000, its new lightweight cabover. Compare the driver comfort of its spacious cab with optional cab air ride. Compare the efficiency of its lightweight, choice of engines, and aerodynamic design. Compare features like plug-in gauges designed to help minimize downtime. Ford CL9000. Compare it with any line hauler on the road today. Ford means business in big trucks.
Pabst Blue Ribbon knows that to bring a 5,000-pound African elephant back to the safety of its protected herd is a challenge that's just not for everyone. But we do challenge you to discover a better tasting beer. Taste and compare Pabst with any other premium beer. You'll taste the difference Blue Ribbon quality makes. Pabst, since 1844, the quality has always come through.
This week, Rhoda meets her new boss.
You gotta be the rudest person I ever met.
You never met my wife.
I would be afraid to meet the woman who married you.
I would too. She died 10 years ago.
And two girls face naked truth in advertising in the premiere of On Our Own. New comedy right after Rhoda. Sunday Funny starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents live coverage of the Jockey Club Gold Cup, the third leg of the Fall Triple Crown. Highlights of the highly acclaimed Junichi Cup with three-time Olympic gold medalist Nadia Comaneci of Romania competing. And the world's strongest men competition featuring the wrist roll. That's next Saturday at 4:30.
Welcome back to Tampa Bay. Frank Lieber along with Roy Jefferson at halftime with Washington leading Tampa Bay 10-0. As we promised you, a couple of special interviews. Roy was down on the field prior to the game and talked to George Allen.
The Redskins, it's especially so when you play a team like Tampa, because in the past, we haven't generally done well with the weaker teams in the league. What is your thought about your players this week?
Well, Roy, that's a good question because it's a big game for us. By winning, we're either tied with Dallas or 2 games ahead of St. Louis, and we also can pick up a game on either Philadelphia or New York since they're playing today. We respect this ball club. They have an excellent defense. In fact, they have one of the best defenses in the league, and we're going to have to play a top-notch game to win. We're going to have to play all the way around, special teams, offense, and defense. We just can't let down.
Right. You know, you talk about defense. That is definitely Tampa Bay's strong point. But you just got a guy back, Chris Hamburger. He had an appendectomy not too many weeks ago. Came back last week and had a great game against the Cardinals. How is his status now? Was he able to practice this week? And what do you look forward to?
Roy, he split the time with Mike Curtis again. He should be better this week because he went through that. I didn't think he could play the whole game last week. We feel the big thing we have to do on defense is not give them anything cheap. They got a lot of speed and 2 of their wide receivers. We don't know whether Ricky Bell is going to play today. And I expect Chris would play the whole ball game today. That's what I'm playing for.
I thought it was a great thing. I thought it was something emotionally uplifting for the team that Chris did get back last week. Yeah. And against a team like St. Louis, it was the best showing of the Redskins this year. And within my mind, I saw that was that's what we needed. You know, that's what the Redskins needed, was a good win against a good team.
Well, Roy, we had what you experienced. We had a lot of enthusiasm and players congratulating each other, and the sidelines were alive. We played like the Redskins of old, and that's what we'll have to get today. I know that sometimes it's difficult coming off a big win to have that same emotion 2 weeks in a row, but Tampa, expansion teams at home, usually play well. That's when they have their best performances.
Billy Kilmer, he is the man. I think he is the man that has to make that offensive unit go. Yeah. And many people were worried about that. He wasn't capable of it. I saw last week that he was. Yeah. How is Billy doing now with his little injuries?
Well, he had a better week this week, and I think that our offensive line should have more confidence. They had a good game against St. Louis. Mike Thomas should be better. He's really still in training camp from a conditioning standpoint. Calvin's been doing a good job for us in there. We really have more depth in our running backs than we've had in the past.
Right. The defense again. Dennis Johnson, he had a great game last week. He had 2 sacks. Yeah. Do you anticipate Dennis having a great year coming off of that game he had last week?
I sure hope so, because Dennis is young. He has the quickness, the speed, the strength, and I'll be interested in the type of game Dennis has. I think Dennis can have a great season this year if he plays with that intensity. He was a wild man last week.
He was.
He was pounding the ground. Did you know
it was exciting watching him do it. Coach, I thank you, and have a good game today. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Roy. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Head coach George Allen in that interview taped prior to today's game. You heard them mention the Tampa Bay defense. We'll talk about the Buccaneers defense with their head coach, John McKay, in a moment. The NFL Today on CBS will return after this word from your local station.
Archie and Edith bury a cousin and uncover a family secret tonight at 9, 8 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Coach, your defense appears to be playing good enough to stay on the field with anybody.
Well, Frank, we've been fortunate. We haven't had any injuries there, and we've got a young defensive team, but they're very aggressive, and truthfully, there are a lot of pretty good athletes on the team, and I hope it can hold up this afternoon.
How about your patience?
Well, my patience is still pretty good, because I think we are doing exactly what we set out to do. We're a very young team that as we grow older, I think we'll grow a lot better, and this is our plan. We had a 5-year plan when we came here, and we think we're on schedule.
Do you think the weather will help you here and that it may wear down some of these old men?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I do know the crowd will help us. It's a tremendous crowd, and they'll be behind us. And if we can make some big plays and get them all stirred up, I think it helped us certainly against Minnesota and did against Baltimore here earlier. And it's helped us about every time we've played here.
Are you disappointed at all with the way the offense has gone, or do you attribute it mainly to the injuries?
Well, I attribute it mostly, Frank, to the injuries, with Barilla going down, who had been a #1 quarterback, and then Huff went down and still really not ready to play very much. Ricky Bell goes down, and then our 2 tight ends and our left guard. So we've been injured there, but on the good aspect of it, defensively, we hadn't have anybody injured, so our defense is playing well. I don't think our offense is playing very well at all.
What did you base your decision on starting quarterback today on?
Well, I think that they're going to rush us. I think Hedberg's a better scrambler, so we're going to go with him first. But I expect to put Huff in the ball game if he can move around. But he is wearing one of those knee braces, Frank, that I don't especially like, and I didn't think last week against Dallas that he could move well enough to escape blitzes and things like that, and I think you have to do that in this type of football.
I notice you said you need something like 25 #3 draft picks or better to be a contender. Is that kind of your code?
Well, we looked around at the teams, and basically, you know, unless you can get a veteran player and have a veteran team that you can bring him in and he can play right away, that the best players in the National League are probably in the first 4 rounds year in and year out, although there's always an exception. We have 2 free agents here that could play with almost anybody. But as I have looked around and we have tried to determine the teams like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and such, it's been built through the draft, and that's the way we intend to go.
It's pretty well direct contrast to George Allen's philosophy, and yet he's done well.
Well, I think George's philosophy for him is fine because he inherited an old team that could play pretty well. He added experience to that team, and if when I get this team that old, I'll be very difficult for you to say, bring this rookie in and make the team. I'll play with the older people who have the experience, but I don't have any older people that have any experience, and it's even a joke the way they list our experience. They list us 2 years experience for guys who have only been here 1 year, and were on other teams last year as you know, free agents and never played in the game. So we are a very young football team.
Somewhat ironic that your oldest player just happens to be an ex-Redskin.
Well, that's our center, and Danny's done a good job for us, and Dan is what I'd call a young player. And of course, one of the reasons he is, George didn't play very much there, so he didn't get all beat up. So, but Danny's done a good job for us.
How about your old team yesterday? Were you a little disappointed?
Well, yeah, I thought they waited too long to pull the trigger. I think that when your running attack is stopped, you know, that badly, you have to go to a passing attack. SC has one of the better ones in the country, and they got started a little too late, but it was a great football game, and I really enjoyed it.
Coach, thanks for stopping by and talking to us, and good luck to you.
Thank you, Frank.
Coach John McKay of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And both of those interviews, Coach Allen and George McKay, obviously done prior to the start of the game today. We're at halftime. Redskins lead the Buccaneers 10-0.
Another all-nighter for the old workaholic, huh?
Somebody's got to get the work out.
Many people drive themselves too hard, and it's putting the cost of health care under a lot of stress. Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans have programs to hold costs down, but everybody needs to help.
I hear you're working on a transfer.
Huh?
Yeah, to that big office in the sky.
When you overtax yourself, we all pay for it.
All of us helping each of us.
A guy I know tells me this new Sunbeam adjustable groomer razor is the greatest shaver ever made. Oh, I say, so what? I'm a blade man. He says, try it and you won't be. He's right.
Here's how Sunbeam's new groomer razor works. 12 stainless steel blades cut at 8,000 strokes a minute through the thinnest shaving head you can get. Stands whiskers up and shears them off, at or below the skin line.
You a blade guy? Try this. It may be the last time you use a blade.
The Dallas Cowboys are a homegrown football team, and a team that plays offense like nobody else. Hi, I'm Harvey Martin, and I was born and raised in Dallas, and I'm very pleased to have this chance to show you my home. Now, in a way, Dallas came out of nowhere. No harbors, no railroads, no rivers, nothing to make it great except the people. People who saw a city that looks like tomorrow. People who love football and the Texas State Fair, summer musicals, and three-alarm chili. You know, we get kidded about being Texans and claiming to have the biggest everything, but there are people in Dallas with the biggest hearts anywhere. They're the volunteers of our United Way. People like you and me working with the Red Cross, the YMCA, Services for the Aging, and many other agencies funded by our United Way. They take pride in our team, our city, and our United Way. They're beautiful people, and for all of them, we'd like to say thanks to you. It works for all of us, the United Way.
Both teams are on the field prior to the start of the second half. As we have time here, let's give you a rundown on the scores we have around the National Football League. These are finals unless otherwise indicated. Philadelphia over the Giants today by a score of 28-10. The Eagles all the way in that one. They ran up 21 points at the outset. The Jets won their second in a row, beating Buffalo. Final score 24-19. In that particular game. Oakland defeated Cleveland as expected. The Raiders continue undefeated. 26-10. Oakland by 16 over the Cleveland Browns, who've certainly had one of the toughest schedules in the entire National Football League. New England shut out Seattle. Seattle and Tampa Bay meet next Sunday, so somebody's got to win that one. Patriots are right back on the beam once again. Minnesota and Detroit were battling for first place in the Central Division, and that now belongs to the Vikings as a result of their 14-7 victory. Detroit scored late in that game, consolation touchdown. Cincinnati over Green Bay by a score of 17-7. Lynn Dickey and Ken Anderson each had one touchdown pass. This was a track meet. Baltimore got 4 touchdown passes from Burt Jones. Miami at one point led in that game 28-10 in the first half. And Baltimore comes back to win it 45-28. Houston defeated Pittsburgh, perhaps the major upset of the day, 27-10. Both starting quarterbacks went out with injuries. Bradshaw with injured ribs, and Pastorini had a problem, I think, with an ankle or a knee. So Houston upsetting Pittsburgh. San Diego shut out Hank Stram's New Orleans Saints by a score of 14-0. San Diego certainly one of the surprising young teams in the National Football League this year. That's a third period score. Atlanta, San Francisco. Falcons playing great defense this year. Really nobody scored on them. And this is still in the second period with about a minute to go prior to the half. Herrera has just kicked a field goal to make it St. Louis 17, Dallas 13. Jim Hart threw a 62-yard touchdown pass to Mel Gray, and Tony Dorsett has run 77 and Metcalf 62. Denver leading Kansas City. That's a halftime. 16-0. And our score 10-0. Redskins leading Tampa Bay, and the Redskins will be kicking off. Tampa Bay no offense at all. Washington out first down them 10-1. We've had 8 fumbles in this game, 5 by the Redskins. They've lost 2. 3 by Tampa Bay. They've lost 1. There's another one. Reese at the 5, back to the 10, 15, and Reese to the 20-yard line. Must be something slippery on that ball, Roy.
I tell you, I think it must be just one of those days, because that's the second time there's been a fumble on the kickoff, just in the reception of it. And these kind of things just keep them in the hole, because Tampa's been in the hole all day long offensively. Even though they haven't been able to run the ball, they haven't had good field position to do anything.
Looking at these first half statistics, Tampa Bay -1 total yards in the first half. Penalty marker down as Davis took the handoff for a yard out to the 21-yard line. A lot of penalties in this game, too. Tampa Bay penalized 4 times, Redskins once. I think this one will go against the Redskins. Let's see. Defensive holding. That's an automatic first down.
Defensive holding on a running play. Now that's pretty tough.
Looks like Mike Curtis was engaged a little bit of a wrestling match there.
Fence. First down.
Now that's a change, and they're taking Chris Hamburger out and put Mike Curtis in the game. I guess he's not feeling too well. This heat probably got to him.
I would imagine you'd see more substituting than usual because of the heat. Davis trying to slide off a tackle. Stopped near the line of scrimmage.
I think Allen may have these guys ready to play football now. They've come out and they've looked pretty good these first 2 plays.
Now tell me, you've been in a Redskin locker room at halftime on a game like this. What does he tell you? Does he get that fired up, emotional, the whole thing?
He does. He gets very emotional. I think the thing that he probably impressed upon him is that, look, you guys are supposed to be the best team out here, but you're playing very poorly. You're making mistakes, doing things that we're not supposed to do, and it's the only way we're going to win football games without making mistakes. He's got his own way of saying it.
Tampa Bay rushed for 30 yards in the first half, but they were -31 passing. Here's Huff. Boy, he looked both ways before he finally decided to go to Dana Knapziger. Number 83, the big rookie tight end, and Gerard Williams was defending.
The Redskins went with a double zone this time, where both free safeties went out deep, and the cornerback had the short zone, and Gerard Williams played it just perfectly, and he's supposed to pick up that tight end if he comes out into the flat. He just made a great defensive play on it.
3rd down 10.
And of course, Gerard Williams is replacing Pat Fisher in this game. I guess he was a little more hurt than at first than what they thought he was.
Tampa Bay from its 25-yard line. Again, we get markers everywhere. Isaac Hagan's at the 40.
caught by Lavender at midfield, but we had markers thrown everywhere. Let's see which way this one goes.
That was the first offensive play that broke.
That goes against the Redskins. It'll be far and away the biggest offensive gain of the afternoon. Nope, going to go against. It'll go against Tampa Bay, and it'll all be for naught. They got him on illegal motion. So wipe it out. That'd have been the first time the Tampa Bay's been across the 50. But all for naught.
There's a really good play and good move by number 81, and it's just sad that they had to have a penalty on the play.
Illegal motion, right guard, offense, third down.
Steve Wilson.
Yeah, you can see him moved in. I think all they did here was delay that wide receiver and coming underneath across there, and the traffic got him open.
On third down, 16, Huff caught from behind and pinned back at the 12-yard line.
There's Dennis Johnson again, and he had a great game last week and looked like he's trying to continue right now. George Allen commented that he was very quick, and he's very strong also, and he just ran over the guy and came around him. And there was good pressure from the inside by Dole and Talbot. And Dennis Johnson got his first sack of the day.
Green back to do the punting. He's had a busy afternoon. 7 kicks in the first half for an average of 40.1. Redskins with 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. Green gets it away. Eddie Brown waiting at the 50. Juggled it for a moment and is dropped at the 46-yard line of Tampa Bay. So the Redskins will go into their first offensive possession of the second half. Pretty good field position.
Well, it looks like it's just like it was last half. You know, Redskins are starting off in great field position every time. But what's happening is they're not taking advantage of it.
Time out of the field with 13:33 left to play in the third period.
You usually think of Firestone only on the road. But when you take a day to relax, you'll find Firestone stays right with you to share in the fun. Like children's balloons made of Firestone natural rubber latex. For padded protection, Firestone can supply rubber bumpers and urethane foam. And seat belts on thrillers like these. Under the counter, you'll find Firestone again in the stainless steel beverage containers. For smooth stops, steam locomotives rely on Firestone air brake hoses. Firestone air stroke actuators open the gates to fun. Inside, Firestone vinyl resins for stage floorings. So even when you take the day off, Firestone doesn't. For we believe as long as Firestone keeps thinking about people, people will keep thinking about Firestone.
Don't forget Logan's Run. New time tomorrow night, 8 p.m., 7 Central and Mountain Time on CBS. That's CBS's answer to Star Wars. I think you'll enjoy it if you haven't seen it before. Redskins' first offensive possession of the second half. They have the ball at the Tampa Bay 46-yard line. Thomas and Riggins are the setbacks, and Kilmer comes out throwing. Wide open is Fugit at the 30-yard line, and G carries it to the 25 for an easy first down. 20 yards on that play. Kilmer 9 out of 12 in the first half for 105 yards. He was sacked twice.
Gene Fugit is definitely one of the best tight ends in the league. He's got a lot of speed, good quickness. And the Redskins were lucky to pick him up from the Dallas Cowboys.
It's about the only thing the Dallas will ever give him. I mean, they didn't give him. They let him go rather reluctantly, I'm sure. He along with Calvin Hill. Ball is at the 26-yard line. Thomas to the 23. Quick score here by the Redskins, and to take a lot of the steam out of Tampa Bay's sails. They realize, Tampa Bay does, they just need a touchdown here, defense or otherwise. They're right back in this game.
They're still trying to keep that running game going, and but I think he's going to have to throw that ball to score. That Tampa defense is tough.
Thomas was the leading rusher in the game in the first half with 30 yards on 7 carries, an average of 4.3. Second down, 7. Redskins at the Tampa Bay 24. Taylor wide to the right side. Jones split off to the left. Kilmer fires downfield, intended for Thomas, who is cutting across at the 5-yard line and deflected away by Jarris White, number 45 of Tampa.
In that rollout, Billy wanted to get to Mike Thomas right away, but the linebacker was in the way, and he could see him directing Thomas to get away from that linebacker. And then he threw it. There was a great defensive play there and almost an interception.
That is some record that George Allen has compiled in his National Football League career, particularly on the road. Toughest place to win. Third down, 7. Redskins at the 24. They need to get it a little bit closer, really, to give Mosley a decent shot at a field goal here. Kilmer got it away and completes it to Larry Jones at the 13-yard line for the first down. Jones on in relief of Frank Grant, who is shaken up in the second period of play.
And Frank must have been shaken up more than what I previously thought. But this is a slot formation over there. It's nothing but a Y-N pattern, and Larry Jones runs a great pattern. He cuts across there, makes a great catch of it, and held onto the ball when he was hit. And he was hit pretty good there.
Redskins, 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. Fake to Riggins. Kilmer still throwing the football. Boy, that is something that you might paste out and put in the history books, because when's the last time he dropped one like that?
You know,
Charlie Taylor.
Charlie Taylor is one of the greatest that played the game. And this was a similar pattern, except in the fact that Charlie now is coming over the middle and Larry Jones is going outside. And I don't think Charlie was really ready for this. He had came off of, he almost ran into Larry Jones and a defensive back there. And I think he might have even saw that safety man sitting in his face.
2nd and 10. Redskins have really gone to the air here in the early part of the third period, having difficulty running against Tampa Bay. Quick throw and juggled and dropped. Incomplete. Jones tried to find the handle, couldn't do it.
That's 2 of them right on the money and weren't caught. And you can't fault Billy Kilmer for that.
Got rocked pretty good by Tampa's Cedric Brown, number 34.
Nothing but a quick post. Larry Jones comes wide open. He had it in his hands and it just dropped out.
3rd down. Redskins still need the 10 for the first down at the 13-yard line. Kilmer, flags are down. Taylor was the closest man to it, cutting across the middle. Pass was way overthrown. The penalty is going to go against the Redskins.
That's a pattern that they try to get Mike Thomas out there on a corner pattern on the linebacker by himself, and Charlie coming across the middle. Billy had to rush his throw that time and couldn't get it to him. But it was well covered anyway on both cases. Mike Thomas and Charlie Taylor were both covered on that play.
Preliminary indication is a holding call against the Redskins. We got a little bit of a decision here to be made by Tampa Bay. They want to decline the penalty and set up 4th down and let Mosley go away and kick it, or else take the penalty and shove him back a little bit further and give him another shot at it, hoping that they don't pick up the first down here and that Mosley will have to kick it from a lot further out. They'll take the penalty. 10-yard holding call.
I think Billy likes that. I'm sure he'd like another chance of
Illegal
trying to
motion,
score.
20 offense, the penalties decline. Holding, 24 offense. 74.
Redskins had 2 infractions on that play. So the holding call moves them back to the 23-yard line. It is now 3rd down. Washington needs 20 for the first down. They have to reach the 3-yard line to pick up the first down.
Milner back to throw it, swings it out to Thomas, and he can't hold it.
3 drop balls. 3 drop balls, and that wasn't from humidity didn't do it. Just a matter of concentration on all 3 cases right there.
Well, we said this game was loosely played in the first half. It's getting to the point now where it's being sloppily played.
I thought that's got to have Billy very disappointed right now. And having 3 balls, he put right on the money, and neither one of them being caught.
40-yard field goal attempt for Mosley. Theismann to hold. Far enough, but no good. He missed it left this time. So Mosley has missed 2 field goal attempts, and Tampa Bay stays within shooting range at 10-0. Crowd really loving the play of the Buccaneers defense. Timeout. Washington leading 10-0.
I'm Lord. I don't go with married women. What are you doing in our Granada? Granada? This is my Mercedes.
Hold tight. Didn't get hands to my Cadillac.
Cadillac, that's the Granada. Alone at last, beloved.
Beloved?
Where's my bride?
You got that Mercedes with another man.
Another man?
The new Ford Granada. One way to tell it from Cadillac or Mercedes is its sticker price. When America needs a better idea, Ford puts it on wheels.
Who is the #1 investment firm in the East? Who is the #1 investment firm in the Midwest? Who is the #1 investment firm in the South? Who is the #1 investment firm in the West? You know who. Merrill Lynch. All around America, more investors turn to Merrill Lynch than any other investment firm. Sure, there are lots of investment firms, but there's only one Merrill Lynch.
Logan's Run, the ultimate trip. Now on a new night and a new time. Monday starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
As the shade begins to settle over the field here at Tampa Stadium, let's remind you once again about the CBS Sports Spectacular. Highlights of the world's strongest men competition, the Chinichi Cup and the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Well, the crowd is getting strong, and that's what George Allen was worried about. This crowd can really help an expansion team at home if they do anything at all offensively. They're going to go wild. Huff trying to complete the pass over on the far side to Owens, number 85.
Morris Owens is their speed burner, and they're trying to get that ball to him because they know they've got the score. And he just runs a simple out pattern here. But all day long he's covered. Just watch him run that pattern. Kenny Houston's on him, and he stutter stepped too long up the field before he made his break. So Kenny was all over that.
We mentioned Mike Curtis is in replacing Chris Hamburger at that right side linebacker. Here at the start of the second half, here's Huff again. He's got a man open this time and completes it down the near sidelines to number 82, Gary Butler.
Gary Butler just came in here, and these Tampa people will go crazy over him if they can get something out of this after he starts his drive.
There it is again, and I think this is Tampa Bay's deepest penetration so far. They're on their own 44.
It's a simple corner pattern, and he runs it, and I think Joe Lavender must have thought that he was going to run inside and played him inside, and he must have made a great move to get back outside for that pass.
First down, Tampa Bay. That's only their second first down of the ball game. Quick pitch, Davis. 45, 50, 45, 40, 35. Davis down to the 25-yard line.
Tampa Bay has erupted now. Anthony Davis jumped outside there, buddy, and he was gone.
I think we may have a marker.
It's just a simple pitch out. Very good blocking on a play, and he makes a great cut up into the hole and broke 2 tackles on the way. And Anthony, I don't think has that.
The penalty was against the Redskins. Defensive holding. Obviously declined by Tampa Bay. They'll take the first down at the Redskin 25.
And I don't think Anthony Davis has that speed that he possessed in college, but the kid is still a quality running back, as he showed on that play right there.
Officials marked at the 20-yard line, making the 20 instead of the 25. So the Buccaneers, for the first time in the football game, past the 50-yard line in the Redskins end of the field, have a first down at the Washington 20. And if they can push it across here, we've got a brand new football game.
The holding must have been on Curtis that time on the tight end because he was blocking on him at the time.
Gary Huff looking over the defensive alignment for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's gone most of the way at quarterback. Long count play this time to give to Davis. Davis stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and then Jake Scott came up with a secure hit.
It was a great play by Jake Scott. He got stuffed at the line of scrimmage there by Brundage and McDowell. He ran into one of his own men. And then Jake Scott just comes in and blasts.
Loss of a yard of the play at his second down 11. Butler comes back into the lineup, replacing Knapsager at tight end. Up. Protection good. Going for Butler and almost intercepted by Joe Lavender, number 20.
That was a matter of just forcing the ball in there. That man was covered. He landed a man that he could have gotten to on the other side of the field. Either one of the other two wide receivers had a better opportunity of getting to that ball. But I think he was successful on one play there, and it was just going to the well too often. Because once you do it once on these Washington ball players, you're not coming back and getting another one. Joe Bird almost had an interception there. Had he not lost his balance and going up, he'd have had that ball.
Third down, 11. Tampa Bay at the Redskin 21. Up. Running out of the pocket. 20. And stopped at the 19-yard line. Well, he put on the brakes, or he would have gotten at least an extra 3 or 4 yards out of the play.
But I tell you, his wide receiver on the left side there was wide open. He did not wait enough. If he'd have run up there and stopped there, his wide receiver's wide open in the middle there. And, of course, Eddie Brown comes up and makes a great tackle, open field tackle right there.
Yes, that's what you wide receivers always say. You're always wide open, right?
He had a linebacker to slow him up, and he didn't slow him up at all, and he got loose underneath there.
Alan Levitt, 36-yard field goal attempt. Firing up. No good. It's off to the right. Levitt misses from 36 yards away, and the Redskin followers have to be sighing a huge sigh of relief as they stop that Tampa Bay charge and take over at the 20-yard line. We'll be back in just a moment.
Wherever you may roam, you'll find our name is known.
You can trust a Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery.
When things are getting thick and you want to start real quick,
you can trust a Delco. Thanks, Delco. Delco Freedom Battery.
They've got the stuff when the starting's tough.
You can trust a Delco.
Thanks, Delco.
Delco Freedom Battery. Delco Freedom.
Thanks, Delco.
When do you say Budweiser?
After a good bout on the lake with a water ski.
In about 2 minutes. And that's about, what, 120 seconds?
When do you say Budweiser?
When I'm fishing and when I finish fishing.
Right after I finish painting this van.
Whatever I can.
On a hot day like today.
Before I go to bed.
When you say Budweiser.
Budweiser.
You said it all.
CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday, 4:30 Eastern Time. Great horse race for you from Belmont. Tremendous gymnastics competition, the Shinichi Cup from Japan. And round 3 of the world's strongest men competition. Back to play we go. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 20-yard line. Frank Lieber along with Roy Jefferson from Tampa Stadium. Temperature in the high 80s. Thomas gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it.
That was a great
play by Dave Pear, number 76.
And I don't think I can deal with that.
Kind of shape you in. Here's Thomas. This time out to the 23. Still got a long way to go. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
needed for the first down is again Dave Pear, number 76, is in the middle of that. Here's a couple of other scores for you. Atlanta has finally scored on San Francisco. It's 7-0 in the third period. Scott Hunter hitting Alfred Jenkins for 39. And Denver is romping over Kansas City, 23-0. That's in the third period. Denver is still unbeaten.
I think Denver is going to have to be reckoned with this year in that AFC.
Redskins having troubles moving the football. Tampa Bay defense playing a rouse, brand of ball. Here's Thomas, and that leap just may have gotten him the first down. It'll be very close. You can see the marker there, and it's about as close as it can be. Boy, is it close.
That's inches.
They have to get to the 30-yard line, and we take a look at the ball here. We can see exactly how close that ball is to the 30-yard line.
On the edge.
They didn't make it.
I thought he went over that 30-yard line, though, when he jumped in the air. But the referee marked it back a little bit. Tampa Bay takes over again.
And Billy's a little bit hot. I don't know if he's hot over the placement of the ball or the fact that he wanted to run for the first down, but George Allen isn't taking any chances. We have not had a score in this game since the opening period. Bragg to do the punting. Tampa Bay with 9 men on the line of scrimmage. A whistle prior to the snap. 30-second clock, I believe, had run out. And the Redskins will get 5 for delay of game.
I tell you, I think Tampa Bay is ready to play some football, and their offense may have gotten a little bit out of that last drive they had going. And with this penalty here, if they can get a good return, we may see a good football game yet.
Offense, 4th down.
So move it back to the 25-yard line, and again, Bragg to do the punting. Nice kick. Isaac Higgins at the 26. Higgins to the 30. Couple of more steps had he gotten away from Carl Lorch, number 71, and he might have had a chance of reaching the wall at the near sidelines. As it is, the Buccaneers will take over 1st and 10 on their own 26-yard line with 6.5 minutes remaining in the third period.
One step closer. One step closer. One step closer. That's what Exxon people say. One step closer. At the end of every day, Exxon's dedicated to finding energy for you. Energy for a strong America.
Hi, ever need to rent a car fast? Watch. Hertz, #1 club number 21586, arriving San Diego at 2 p.m. on RAL Flight 9. Returning it there tomorrow. Okay, thanks. That's all there is to it. When you're in the #1 club, nobody makes renting a car faster or easier than the Superstar. Even before you get there, your car is pre-assigned, your forms filled out. So rent a Ford fast from Hertz, the Superstar in rent-a-car.
Preview of coming attractions next weekend on CBS, another doubleheader. These are some of the early games that you'll see, depending on what part of the country you happen to be in. Pretty good lineup of games there. Also got a key Central Division match between the Chicago Bears and Minnesota, San Francisco at the Giants, and then 3 late games, highlighted by the Cowboy Redskin game. 1st and 10, Tampa Bay. And sliding to a halt of his own accord is Anthony Davis.
Anthony thought he saw an opening up the middle there, but run just popped up in there on him real quick, and he just went in a slide.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down, 11. Here's the second half of that doubleheader on CBS next Sunday. Most of you, I'm sure, will see the Cowboy Redskin game. New Orleans taking on Los Angeles, and Tampa Bay, Seattle.
That's another thing I think. I believe that George Allen probably told his ball club sometime this week that we've got to go down here in the right frame of mind, play this football game and win it, because he feels that St. Louis will beat Dallas in today, and feels that they'll be in first place, tied for first place with Dallas when they go in there next week.
See if we can get an update for you on that St. Louis-Dallas game. Last time we heard it was tied. No, the Cardinals, I think, were leading. That's still the case. Cardinals 17, Cowboys 13, and that, I believe, is a halftime. Timeout call by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You saw Gary Huff go over to the sidelines for a word with his head coach, John McKay. Second down, 11. Bucks with the ball at their 25-yard line. See what Huff has done so far. He's 3 out of 12 for 28 yards. Had one intercepted. Redskins going with their nickel defense. Huff lets it fly for Isaac Higgins, and Higgins can't quite reach it at the 25-yard line.
I think he wants an interference call there, but I think Gerard Williams hit him the same time the ball got there. It's a really tough judgment call for the referee.
Is that an objective call on your part or an ex-Redskin call on your part?
Well, we'll see in a moment here. Now, Gerard Williams is one of my favorites, though, on the Redskins. I don't think I'm any real true rooter of the Redskins, even though I played with him. See, a great play. He didn't touch him until after the ball had passed him in. And I think the kid stopped running, though, before I don't think he realized how far that ball was thrown.
Third down, 11. Buccaneers at their 24. 2 first downs here in the second half. They've got 3 for the game. Huff gets it away and almost has it picked off. It's intended for Owens. And Mark Murphy, 5th defensive back in there, number 29. Had his hands on it.
There was a lot of discussion about that nickel defense last week, and they used it. The Redskins used it the last 2 plays here, and it was, of course, very effective for them.
Green to do the punting, and Eddie Brown deep. Brown last year had the second best year any punt returner had in the history of the National Football League. Fields this one at his 42, gets to the 45. Dropped at the 47-yard line.
Brown on the punt return.
Larry Mucker, number 87, making the stop for Tampa Bay.
And the special teams, along with the defense of Tampa Bay, has been playing great football today. And that's the reason, besides Washington making a lot of mistakes, that Tampa Bay is in the game. But then I say mistakes. Tampa has caused the Redskins to make a lot of these mistakes that have been made today.
Eddie Brown currently number 5 in kickoff returns and number 11 in punt returns in the league. Coming into this week's game. 1st and 10, Redskins at their 46-yard line. Riggins and Thomas are the setbacks, and they give it to Jones on the end around. And on the reverse, Jones gets maybe 2 yards.
I guess a young football team, you run a reverse at this time of the game, and they stuff it. That's football. And this Tampa Bay defense, we're being repetitive, though, huh, Frank?
That's right.
But they're playing great football.
Ask me how young the Buccaneers are. Go ahead.
How young are they?
The Redskins' 7 oldest players have more NFL experience than the entire Tampa Bay roster. That's young.
And I believe it. I added up only 12 players on the Redskins team, and it added up to 170 years of experience.
Of course, you could take the reverse of that and say, how old are the Redskins? That's Thomas to the 50-yard line and getting into Tampa Bay territory at the 49. Redskins simply can't run the ball against this Tampa Bay defense. That will set up 3rd down, and the Redskins still will need 5 for the 1st down with the nose of the ball just into Tampa Bay territory.
But this is the history of the Washington Redskins since George Allen has been there. They've always played well against the good football teams and never play well against those that are not considered good football teams overall. And it's just a classic point of case here today.
Gilmer to throw it, looking for the 1st down. floats it way over the head of everybody. Penalty marker down, and we may have a pass interference call as Larry Jones, the intended receiver, was jammed up going downfield and couldn't get through. He got another marker thrown back where Kilmer was decked.
The ball was in the air when he got hit. I saw that. But there's another marker thrown down in the backfield there.
Well, we're going to get holding against Washington. Roughing the passer against Tampa Bay.
I tell you what, the defensive secondary of Tampa Bay is not a bad defensive secondary. They've played good football and have been close to everything that was caught or not today.
Holding, offense, personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, penalties offset, third down.
So we'll do it again. Third down 6 for the Redskins just inside Tampa Bay territory. 4 minutes, 6 seconds left to play in the third period. Kilmer is 11 out of 20 for 119 yards. He's not thrown a touchdown pass. Only touchdown of the game on Mike Thomas' run in the first period of play. Redskins jumped out to a quick 10-0 lead. And neither team's been able to do much since then. Kilmer again going for Jones, trying to reach it and can't.
He was rushed on that one, and that's the only reason he couldn't take the time to set and throw that ball to Larry Jones. Larry Jones was open, but Counsel Rudolph was in there on top of it, and he was running away from Rudolph while he was trying to throw the ball.
Dave Lewis of the Buccaneers was shaken up on this play, number 57, coming in at the bottom of your screen.
Here Billy is running to the left there, and he didn't get set well enough to get that ball down there to Larry Jones.
Mike Bragg aiming for the coffin corner on the far side. And Reese will field this one at the 6. Fumbles the ball at the 5-yard line and a wild scramble for it. And Tampa Bay comes up with it.
Danny Buggs had the opportunity to fall on that ball right there, and it bounced out from under him, and the punt returner was able to recover it himself.
We're going to go into double figures here on fumbles in this game.
And it's not raining either. Buggs fell right on top of it. He must have went right over the top of it. And Tampa recovered the ball. But again, like it's been all day, they're deep in their own territory.
Redskins have the Buccaneers where they want them, back on their 6-yard line, 1st and 10. Washington leading by a score of 10-0. Gary Huff played his college football in these parts. Jimmy Dubose, who has come into the game, a running back who is the number 2 draft choice of the Buccaneers last year. Fans down here sometimes sound like they're booing, and what they're yelling is do for Dubose.
I thought they were booing. I was trying to figure out why, because that was a great play. It was only 6 yards, 6-7 yards, but down there on 1st down to get that many yards was a big play.
2nd and 4, Buccaneers at their 12. There's Dubose, and he's got the 1st down. Out of bounds at the 19-yard line. And the fans love it.
Dubose almost broke that one. He looked good. He broke one tackle there and just couldn't stay in bounds, else he could have been gone for a long one.
Good block along the way by Isaac Higgins as one of the Redskins was shaken up on the play. You tell who that is, Roy? That'd be Brundage, huh?
I don't see Brundage. Oh, there's. Yes, it is. It is Brundage.
Number 77, Bill Brundage, defensive tackle of the Redskins, who himself is filling in for Dave Butts, who is unable to play today because of a injured ankle.
Carl Lorch, of course, is coming in right now for him, but Brundage has had quite a few operations in the last couple of years. But it looked like he's holding his ribs or his stomach there. So he probably got a good crackback block on him when he broke open there, when DeGoy broke open. But Carl Lorch, who's from Hawaii, runs a 4.65 40 for a big defensive end. That's moving.
In sand?
He's coming
or is that
in
just on regular surface?
I think he might be able to get close to it in sand. I couldn't believe it when I saw him running. He ran a 4.65, and he's big. And he's replacing him at defensive tackle. He's played defensive end most of the preseason, and had a great preseason.
Just over 3 minutes left to play in the third period. A long football game. A lot of penalties, a lot of timeouts, several injuries. First and 10 for the Buccaneers at their 19-yard line. They've now picked up 3 first downs in the second half, giving them a total of 4 in the game. Huff, look out, caught from behind.
Great play by Carl Lord.
Well, there's a guy that you were talking about, and I guess he showed some of that 4.65 speed right there.
You know, he's really great at the defensive end. He's so quick, and he just makes contact and just throws the guy out of the way. When the quarterback tries to run, that's where that speed came in, and he just dragged him down from behind. They call him KP, and I haven't found out why yet. His name's Carl Lord.
That moves the Buccaneers back inside their 10. Ball spotted at the 8. Second down, 16. Redskins leading 10-0. Dubose a yard to the 9, and then run down.
There's Eddie Brown again. He made a good open field tackle on Dubose there. And he was the only man stopping him from gaining 10, 20 yards.
Anthony Davis coming back into the huddle, replacing Lewis Carter for Tampa Bay. Davis, number 28. Anthony's average just 2.1 per carry coming into this game, very low. They started to team him up against Dallas last week in the same back wheel with Ricky Bell. That lasted less than a quarter as Bell was injured. They give it to Davis up the middle, 10, out to the 14-yard line to pick up a 5 on the play. Ken Houston, number 27, diagnosing and moving up from the secondary in his safety position to make the stop. So not nearly enough for the first down, and once again, Green comes on to do the punting.
That broke awfully quick, and had he not been stopped, hit at the line of scrimmage a little bit, he'd have probably broke it for a long one, but Kenny Houston did make a great defensive play in coming up and getting it.
Eddie Brown standing on about his 50. 10 Redskins again on the line of scrimmage as Green waits 1 yard deep in the end zone. Line drive kick. This could be returned from the 50. Looking for the wall, but he never gets there. Nailed at the 48-yard line. Excellent tackle that time. Danny Reese, number 46, was the first one down there, and Brown now is shaken up.
I want you to know that Danny Reese can run. He can fly, because Eddie Brown had nothing but sidelines. He had 8 yards on him, and he just ran him down before he got to the sideline.
Now, being a kick returner takes a very special breed, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I spent a few years back there. And that
punts a lot harder than kickoffs or kickoffs? What would you say?
Kickoffs, I think, are the worst. The second man in is the one that got the hit that hurt him. It caught him, I think, in the ribs, it looked like. Either on right on the arm or around the ribs there. But catching punts, see, I don't know, many people, they don't like catching punts. But I used to love catching punts. But kickoffs, people are running at full speed. And see, when you get hit with people that big running full speed, it hurts. You know?
Brown appears to be okay. Don't forget Logan's Run on CBS tomorrow night, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central Time. Logan's Run has all the impact of Star Wars. If you haven't seen it, check it out on its new time tomorrow on the CBS television network. So the Redskins again start a drive, an excellent field position, this time from the 48-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kilmer about to say enough of this. Intercepted. That's Cedric Brown at the 35. Brown to the 40. Brown fumbles the ball at the 48-yard line. And the Redskins get it right back where the play started. You believe that?
Unbelievable. Almost at the line of scrimmage. It looks like it's right at the line of scrimmage.
That's unreal.
That is really disappointing, I know, to Tampa Bay fans. But Billy couldn't see anyone right away, and then he saw Mike Thomas breaking the open and couldn't get it up enough. Tipped by the linebacker, intercepting a great run back. He broke several tackles there. But his own men kept getting in his way. And it looked like his own man knocked the ball out of his hand.
That ball wound up exactly on the line of scrimmage where it was prior to the start of the play. You wonder why that man in the orange shirt's hair is white?
Hey, he has not moved that. He didn't move that yardage stick at all. It's sitting right there at the line of scrimmage.
Makes it easy on the downs, people, I'll tell you that. All right, 1st and 10 Redskins from the Tampa Bay 48. Mike Thomas to the 46-yard line for a pickup of 2. It'll be 2nd down 8.
Well, it's tough running against those Tampa Buccaneers.
45 seconds left to play in the 3rd period and counting.
Billy wants to get another score. I think he's going to have to go over the top.
Between these two clubs, they have fumbled a dozen times.
12 fumbles.
Second down. Riggins carries to the 40, to the 35-yard line.
I think that was offsides on the defense, but I think they may refuse that penalty since they've gotten a 1st down on it.
Clock running out here in the 3rd period. There it is. There's the gun. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the Washington Redskins 10 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers nothing.
If you're taking Valium, you could end up taking a bad trip. Find out why on 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
Frank Lieber along with Roy Jefferson. And those are the Swashbucklers. Tampa Bay cheerleaders as we head into the final period of play of what has to be the most loosely played football game of 1977. Redskins and the Buccaneers playing giveaway. Washington leading 10-0. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Thomas to the 31 gets 4. Dewey Selman, number 61, making the stop on the Redskin running back.
Well, they're intent on running right at those Selman brothers, and there's just nothing over there.
Thomas has gone 6 regular season games in a row without a 100-yarder since he set a Redskins record with his 195-yard effort last November at St. Louis. 2nd down 6. Redskins operating from the Tampa Bay 31. Again Thomas, and again stopped at the line of scrimmage. There's nothing there. That's his 12th carry, making his 17th carry, and he has picked up 49 yards rushing.
It's really sad that Tampa doesn't have an offense. That defense,
they'd be winning this football game right now.
Unbelievable.
You know?
I know it.
With any kind of offense at all, Tampa Bay probably be leading. Atlanta, as we mentioned before, finally scored on San Francisco on a Scott Hunter Alfred Jenkins touchdown pass. Kilmer
for Jones, and Jones is rocked at the 23. He lost it. Nope. Now they call it incomplete. Pass called incomplete at the 23-yard line. It would have been enough for the first down.
I'll tell you, it was there, but that's a tough football to catch.
Oh, he's hurting in the back right now, too, I bet, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Got that old shot in the ribs. And
please, Larry Jones, don't be limping. Frank is already out. They called Jerry Smith and Brig Owens back after putting them on waivers.
You may be down there next week.
I'd have to go through a crash course of getting in shape. He had the ball. He made a great leap to get up there, but he never had control of it.
Here's a fake field goal attempt, and Theismann trying to pick up the first down. I don't think he got it. Theismann at the 26-yard line was stopped. It looks like not quite a yard away from a first down, but we'll have to see where they spot it.
The first down for Tampa. And I don't know who it was that ran him down, but that man can fly. I wonder if that's Danny Reese again. 45?
45 this time is Jarris
White.
He took a pretty good shot there from Mike Washington, number 40 as well.
If Washington had to make the tackle, he'd have made a first down.
Timeout with 13 minutes and 33 seconds left to play in the football game, and the Redskins clinging to that 10-0 lead.
Excuse me, do they serve clams here?
No, and they don't serve turkeys either.
Pardon, monsieur. It's your clothes.
You'd look better in Hager slacks. Or a Hager sport coat and slacks. Even a Hager vested suit. A variety of outfits at prices that are easy to swallow. Voilà, monsieur. Table for one?
Make that a table for two.
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
When life's grind gets to you.
Go Mustang.
Mustang.
Let a Mustang take you away.
This is a great time to go Mustang because this year Mustang 2 is base sticker price less than last year.
Mustang.
The 78 Ford Mustang 2 T-Roof convertible.
Go Mustang.
So beat the grind. Go Mustang. A better idea from Ford.
Edith and Archie get a motel room. Sunday at 9, 8th Central and Mountain.
What are you doing that for?
I don't want them to think there's anything wrong with us. Go on.
Let's take another look at that fake field goal attempt.
It looked like it was going for a long way. Joe Theismann can run now, and he got out there, and Jarris White just ran him down.
You see how close that first down marker was.
George Allen is pulling out all of his bag of tricks, coming up with a fake field goal.
He's just trying to do something, get those Redskins fired up a little bit. First and 10, Tampa Bay at its 26-yard line. Still better than 13 minutes left to play. Gary Huff, good protection, sideline throw, intended for Owens. And good defense by Kenny Houston, number 27 of the Redskins. Got an update for you on the Dallas-St. Louis game. Efren Herrera has kicked a 44-yard field goal. It's the Cardinals 17 and the Cowboys 16. That is midway in the third period, so they've got a long way to go in that one. Second and 10. Buccaneers. Isaac Higgins is wide to the right side. Owens, the other wide receiver. Huff flushed out of the pocket looking for some place to go. He's got Higgins at the 40, and Higgins' momentum carries him out of bounds at the 45-yard line of Tampa Bay. That's a first down.
Well, these are the type of quarterbacks that hurt the Washington Redskins the most, those that can scramble. If he can scramble, that gives his receivers plenty of time to get open.
Well, the amazing thing about it was the reason that the coach started Hedberg was he was supposed to be the better scrambler. This guy's got a knee brace on.
He doesn't look like he's hampered too much. It's a good throw.
Ball juggled by Davis. He manages to gain control and moves it forward to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 2. It'll be second down 8. Anthony Davis, who's had a busy afternoon for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's his
14th carry, and of course he had that one long run, and he's now picked up 69 yards rushing and is the individual leading ground gainer in the football game.
Gained 20 yards more than Mike Thomas, who's had 3 more carries.
Brundage, by the way, who was shaken up earlier, is back in there for the Redskins. 2nd and 7. Near midfield, Huff in trouble. Lost the ball, got it back. Ron McDowell was in there just to make sure, number 79.
Well, it's just a great defensive charge by that front four. Brundage is the first one in there, and he's being held by the guard. And I think he was tripped up there either by Talbot. Yeah, by Darren Talbot. He was tripped up by Darren Talbot. He fumbled the ball, but he recovered it again.
Carter Blanchard, number 66, the offensive guard, had Brundage by the shirt. You could see him holding his shirt as he breezed by him.
If he'd had a tearaway jersey, he'd have had nothing but jersey in his hand.
3rd down, 16 needed for the first down. Bucks back in their 38. Up back to throw, pressure on. Intended for Owens, and that's intercepted by Lavender. So the Redskins take over at midfield.
I don't know where
Joe the Bird pulls it down.
I don't know where the tight end was, but that was a double zone where they doubled both wide receivers. And when he saw that, there was no way that he was to go to that receiver there. They were both bottled up. See, as he goes back, both cornerbacks come up tight, and the safety men jump outside. And there was just no way to get that ball in there. Joe Lavender making a great interception on that. He's had a couple of chances for interceptions today. He turned this one in.
Well, the Redskins get the football once again at midfield. When we go back to play and there's a timeout on the field, be Washington 1st and 10 from their own 49.
Are you still chained to Gotcha? The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor lets you walk away, free from nicks and cuts. Its 36 surgical steel rotary razor blades are safely protected inside 3 floating heads to give you a comfortable shave that's razor close, razor smooth, for up to 3 weeks on a single charge. The rechargeable Norelco rotary razor. It lets you walk away from Gotcha.
Should have bought Mobile One. The oil, it saves you gas, you know.
Should have bought Mobile One. Helps you start at 35 below.
Should have bought Mobile One. Engine temperature hits 500. You're cool.
Should have bought Mobile One. You only change it every 15,000 miles.
Mobile One, the oil that does it all. Take it from an expert.
Pretty picture as the sun begins to set over Tampa, Florida. Tampa Stadium, some 60,000 fans on hand this afternoon watching the Redskins and the Buccaneers do battle. Washington leading 10-0. In a comedy of errors so far. There's the book on Billy Kilmer. Haven't had a score by either side since the opening period of play. 1st and 10. Redskins at their 49, and Kilmer throws the sideline toss. Intended for Charlie Taylor at the 35-yard line.
Well, they want to get some more points on the board. And they're trying to work on those cornerbacks. But these guys are playing good football out there. I didn't realize their defensive secondary was as good as they are. But that time, Charlie Taylor just slipped down out of his break. Else he'd had an opportunity to get it. Denver is leading Kansas City by a big score right now, 23-0. And I'll tell you, Oakland better watch out over in that AFC this year.
2nd and 10. Thomas. Loss of 4, and another penalty marker goes down. See what this one's about. Richard Wood and Cecil Johnson collapsing that time on Thomas. Got an update on that Cardinal-Cowboy game. Charlie Davis of the Cardinals picked up a fumble and ran it in 47 yards for a touchdown. And St. Louis now leads Dallas 24-16. Dallas, the only undefeated team in the NFC. coming into the game today. Of course, they face the Redskins next Sunday in a pivotal game.
Of course, it's tantamount now that Washington win this football game and stop all these mistakes.
Hold 21. Offense. Penalty declined. Third down.
Larry Jones called for illegal use of hands, and because the loss in the play amounted to just about what the penalty would have netted the Buccaneers, they declined it. That sets up 3rd and 14. Redskins at their 45 gets 3rd and 15. Gilmer handing off to Thomas, trying to get outside. Buccaneers just kept stringing it out until there was no place to go, and Mike Cockney and Dewey Selman dispatched Thomas to the sidelines.
Hey, this is a great defense. I mean, this is a super defense that Tampa has down here. I mean, they may not be winning any football games, but they have nothing to be embarrassed about with guys like Dewey Selman and Leroy Selman. Look at Lewis, Cottney. They're all in there on the tackle.
The defense getting a standing ovation from these Tampa Bay fans as they come off the field, having held the Redskins again. Bragg to do the punting. High short kick, bounces at the 30, takes a Redskin hop inside the 20, and will roll dead at the 17-yard line.
I tell you, if it hadn't been for all these getting the ball so deep in their territory all day long, they might have had an opportunity to do better today.
Timeout. Redskins leading 10-0. 11:37 left to play.
Where does your money go after you put it in your bank? Well, some of it's right here. Building your neighborhood, construction loans and home mortgages. But also with municipal bonding, money for your public parks, and money for your schools. Today, America's banks have over $80 billion invested in communities like yours. So if you believe in your community, there's no better place to put your money than your bank. America's
Because the Schlitz football offer is huge. Look for this display at participating stores and save up to $5 on an official Wilson football. Come on. Hey, now's the time to pick up plenty of Schlitz.
As one of the Tampa lovelies this afternoon, enjoying the action as we hope you are. 11 minutes, 37 seconds left to play, and the fans are making a lot of noise here, trying to get the Tampa offense in gear. It's like Tampa's going with 3 wide receivers. They've got Higgins in there, they've got Owens in there, and they've got McKay in there. Just one setback, and that is Ed Williams. So Huff going to loosen it up. Big rush by Brundage, gets it away and completes it. Number 87 is Larry Mucker, who is the tight end.
I tell you, this Tampa team smells victory. They've got 11 minutes left to go in this game, and there's plenty of time, and they're just opening up everything.
First down on the 29-yard line as Mucker comes off the field and is replaced by Dana Knapziger. Redskins had 5 defensive backs in there. Now they send McClinton back in, and Eddie Brown comes out. First and 10, Tampa Bay at its 29-yard line. Williams, 30, up to the 35, to the 37.
That was great blocking by that offensive line on that play. It didn't break it for a big one.
Picked up about 8.
Look at that. Look at that. Blanchard Carter pulled out there and was leading that play and was making a great block to get 9 yards on that play.
Second down, 2. Buccaneers at their 37-yard line. Anthony Davis trying to pick up the first down. He'll be close at the 39. Tampa Bay trailing by 10 points. Eddie Brown, by the way, has now returned 10 punts on the afternoon. That is a new Redskin single game record. The previous record was 9. We've still got a ways to go. Not quite enough for the first down. 3rd down and a yard. Maybe a little less than a yard. Now that's a league record, not a Redskin record. 10 punt returns in one game for Eddie Brown.
And I think that says an awful lot for Tampa's defensive team.
Anthony Davis picks up the first down, rolling across the 40-yard line. Well, these fans were up for it, I'll tell you that.
I think he was very close to breaking that one. He jumped outside there and just fell over. He fell over someone's feet, or he could have just bounced outside and been gone. If he could have kept his balance there, it could have been a touch and go as to whether he went a long way.
Exactly 9 minutes left to play in the football game. Tampa Bay at its own 40-yard line. Redskins with that nickel defense again. Huff trying to run up the middle and caught from behind at the 36 for a loss of 4 in the play. Dennis Johnson was in there, and so was McDowell.
You can very easily see what the difficulty was there with the quarterback. He could not read that defense. They doubled both outside receivers, but they used a linebacker with that nickel defense to double one of the outside receivers, and they actually had a double coverage on the tight end. So he had almost nowhere to go.
2nd down, 14. For the orange-clad Buccaneers as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Owens is wide to the left side. McKay is split out to the right. And Hagan's in the slot. Up over the middle. Complete at the 50-yard line. A marker down. At the point where the pass was thrown, could be a holding call.
That was a good pattern, a great catch that he made there.
That's Owens. It was obtained from the Dolphins. They've got 3 former Dolphins on this roster. They've got something like 7 former Oakland Raiders. The penalty was against Tampa, so it will wipe out the game.
That's going to be tough. They get themselves out of the hole, and they go right back. And at this point in time in the game, they can't do that.
Tampa Bay still looking for its first offensive touchdown of the year. This, of course, is game number 4. The only touchdown they've had this year was scored by the defense on a fumble recovery last week.
The pass rush by the Washington
Illegal use
Redskins.
of the hands. 66. Offense. 2nd down.
Pass rush by the Redskins, I think, has caused a lot of the problems for both quarterbacks for Tampa today.
Tony Dorsett has run 1 yard for a touchdown, his 2nd of the game. It's now Cardinals 24, Cowboys 23. That's with 13 minutes left to play in that game. Gary Huff hit as he got it away, completes it to Owens at the 39-yard line. That's back around the original line of scrimmage. Make it McKay, number 89, I'm sorry, instead of 85.
Okay, they doubled the inside man here. And McKay is getting single coverage out there and just runs a simple curl pattern. Catches the ball, and it's a good play. They need another 10 yards for their first play for a first down so they can keep going, though.
That's his first reception of the afternoon. Huff is now 6 out of 19 for 72 yards. 3rd and 10. Big rush. And Dennis Johnson, number 61, looked like he got through there without anybody touching him.
DJ looked like a freight train coming in there that time.
Boy, somebody must have missed a block.
I tell you, I guess his season started last week, buddy. Somebody missed something there. They thought they had a trick on, and I think that's what confused the offensive lineman up there, and that offensive tackle blocked down inside and left Dennis Johnson wide open.
Now, Eddie Brown will increase that league record he has set already, fielding 10 punts in one game. This is number 11 coming at him off the toe of Green at the 28. Great coverage by Tampa Bay.
It couldn't have been, there's not very much yardage on all those returns that he's had today because the special teams have been doing well.
Paul Harris, number 52, was the first man down to make the hit. Timeout. Redskins leading 10-0. Back in a moment.
Introducing the Ford in your future. The new Ford Fairmont Wagon. A new wagon designed for today and the years ahead. The Fairmont wagon has excellent mileage ratings, but while it is trim and lean outside, Fairmont has almost 90% of the passenger space of most large wagons, and with the seat down can swallow up all this cargo. Yet for all this, the new Fairmont wagon as shown is actually sticker price less than this little VW Rabbit. Test drive Fairmont, the newest better idea from the Wagon Master.
You don't have to lose sleep worrying about that drive to work tomorrow. Not when you've got Firestone Snowbiters going with you. To dig you out and pull you through, they've got 2 sets of deep biting teeth. And in between, traction bars for quiet running and long mileage. In radials, bias, or retreads, they'll put deep in your winter driving. Firestone Town & Country Snowbiters. Pleasant dreams.
There's that update on the Cowboys-St. Louis game. That is early in the 4th period. Cardinals 24, Cowboys 23. Dorsett has scored a couple of touchdowns for Dallas so far. First and 10 Redskins at their 25-yard line. We've got 7 minutes, 13 seconds left to play. Riggins up the middle.
Billy will be pretty conservative, I think, with the time winding down like it is. But he'll try and keep it on the ground if he can. But to get those first downs, if he's got to go there, he will go there. But he'll use a lot of possession-type passes, probably throwing to his tight end on hooks, maybe the weak side end on hook patterns and out patterns to the flanker back.
Second down, 6.
But only when he really needs it. He can, if he feels he can run for it, he'll run that ball all the time.
Redskins from their 29-yard line. Again to Riggins. Short of the first down at the 32, Leroy Selman. Number 63 you will find at the bottom of that pileup. So it'll be third down. It looks like the Redskins going to need about 2 for the first down. Big first down here they needed to keep this drive going and keep that clock moving a little bit.
Philly likes to use his halfbacks on this in this situation also, third and short.
Give it to Riggins, and Riggins is caught behind the line. Tampa Bay defense not giving up at all. Again, it's Leroy Selman, number 63, leading the charge, and again the Redskins will have to punt.
Philly doesn't want to put that ball in the air, and you're going to run. Why run it, Leroy Selman? Look at it. He's just unbelievable. I've heard about him for years. College ball in his first year here. Of course, he got hurt last year. But this kid is every bit as good as what they've been saying.
Bragg to do the punting. 9 men on the line of scrimmage for the Buccaneers. They've got Reese back and also Isaac Higgins. They get a marker. And it couldn't be the 30-second clock. It had 6 seconds to go.
He wasn't in a 3-point stance, so I don't think he can call him motion.
We get no indication here. And no walk-off.
I think the officials made a mistake.
You believe that? Accidentally dropped his flag?
Well, I don't think it was an accident.
Well, he thought he saw something there, but then conferring with the other officials, he apparently changed his mind.
He saw movement inside, but they weren't in 3-point stances, so they can move as long as they aren't.
Reese pulled it down and was hit immediately at the 34-yard line. Good coverage.
Pete Wysocki in on a tackle there. One of the better special teamers for the Washington Redskins.
There's the time left in the football game. We have a penalty marker down in the field, which I just now noticed. Have an awful lot of flags thrown on punts.
Another accidental drop.
Not only are the players dropping the football, the officials are dropping the handkerchiefs.
Everything
They
is
don't want to.
Everything is happening in this football game. Come on, Tampa Bay. I want to get excited.
You realize you got to go back home to the Washington area?
Yeah, you know,
You're
make
just
it interesting.
You're just interested in seeing a good football
That's
game.
it. I want to see a good football
That's
game.
Ed Williams out to the 39-yard line. That's a final score. The Falcons, who have played just superb defense this year, shut out San Francisco this afternoon, 7-0.
It just goes to show you what I know about football, because I thought San Francisco might be able to come out with one on that game.
Second down, 6 for the Buccaneers. Clock moving with 4.5 minutes to go. Huff, good protection this time. Tries to float it out. Intercepted by Mike Curtis. And the Redskins take over at the 46 of Tampa Bay.
That was a beautiful interception made by Mike Curtis there. All he's out there to do is make that quarterback throw that ball further than he wants to get to the receiver. And he was there. Harold McClinton was there also. That sort of put a damper on Tampa Bay's chances now this late in the game. But as you know, and as we all know, anything can happen in the National Football League.
That's 3 interceptions of Huff. First and 10 from the Tampa Bay 47. Riggins finds a hole up the middle and carries to the 35. That's 11 yards. And a Redskin first down at the Buccaneer 35.
Frank Grant is back in the game, so Larry Jones must have sustained an injury also.
Huff 6 out of 20 for 72 yards. So the Redskins pass defense, which compiled that incredible mark last year of allowing its opponents just 41% of its passes completed, doing even better than that, much better. First and 10 from the 35-yard line of Tampa Bay. Kilmer again going to Riggins. To the 32, pickup of 3 in the play.
Riggins has now surpassed the rushing of Mike Thomas, and he's out of the game right now. And you notice that Billy's giving the ball to him more often because they've been trying to run outside, and there's just nowhere to go. And they've gotten started to gain a few yards up the middle there.
15 carries for Riggins, 49 yards. Thomas, 19 carries for 44. Second down, 7. Redskins at the 31-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 minutes left to play. It looks like the Redskins are going to be able to pull it off here, but not without a battle. They received quite a scrap from the young Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who showed them a lot of defense.
As soon as they get an offensive ball club, if they can get the cohesiveness of an offensive unit, they're going to be a tough football team.
Third down, 5 for the Redskins. Nose of the ball just inside the Tampa Bay 30. 2 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Riggins. Another marker. Penalty flag down as Riggins was hit at the line of scrimmage. Across the way, pair number 76 was over there along with Cedric Brown. Well, we have had a ton of penalties, a ton of fumbles. Got a clip coming up against Washington.
And a ton of great defensive plays by both defensive units, Washington and Tampa Bay.
Like Charlie Taylor on the clip there.
Taylor on the clip. Cornerback forced real quick, and Charlie came back to try and get him, and just couldn't get good position on him to get his head in front.
Dewey Selman says we'll take the 15.
Charlie is definitely known as one of the great pass blocking.
Personal foul. Clipping 42. Third down.
Charlie is one of the pass receivers in the league that's been known to be a great blocker. Just couldn't get his head in front that time.
Officials have it marked at the Tampa Bay 45-yard line. Third down, 20. Calvin Hill, who's just come back into the game, picks up close to 5 down to the 40-yard line, and that will run the clock down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, Billy says we're not going to give them anything. All they want to do is get out of here alive, because Tampa's defense has raped them today.
2 minutes left to play in the football game as the warning goes to both benches. Redskins scored all 10 of their points in the first period and have been hanging on for dear life. That's how it stands, and we'll be back in just a moment.
When you walk through the lobby of a Napa store, you only get a hint of what Napa really has to offer. There's much more, because if we put just one part from every kind of vehicle that Napa has to offer in this lobby, you wouldn't have room to walk. So we put them in this Napa shopping guide instead. Walk through the lobby of your local Napa store today and pick up your free copy. Your Napa store is a great auto supply store, but they've got more, much more.
That's NAPA. We help keep America moving.
A guy I know tells me this new Sunbeam adjustable groomer razor is the greatest shaver ever made. Well, I say, so what? I'm a blade man. He says, try it and you won't be. He's right.
Here's how Sunbeam's new groomer razor works. 12 stainless steel blades cut at 8,000 strokes a minute through the thinnest shaving head you can get. Stands whiskers up and shears them off, at or below the skin line.
You a blade guy? Try this. It may be the last time you use a blade.
Our effort today in Tampa, produced by Bob Rowe and directed by John McDonough. The
Couple of
associate
great
producer,
guys.
Chuck Will. They're breaking you in the right way, right?
I don't know about that.
All right, here we go. Bragg dropped that thing out of bounds on the 2-yard line. You believe in that? Just like radar.
He did that consistently against St. Louis last week, and they needed it.
I would say with the lack of offense that Tampa Bay has shown thus far, we can close it down right now. 98 yards away. They trail 10-0 with 1:53 to go.
I still have a problem trying to get home, though, Frank.
You got to talk to George about that.
Yeah, I'd like to get back with the Redskins so I can go back and see my baby boy. But I don't know if George will be in the right frame of mind for having any passengers on this.
He won, didn't he? I mean, you wouldn't ask him if you lost.
Yeah, but the way they won.
George has to have a heart.
They won't have it.
For a new father. I predict you'll make it. Huff lined up in the end zone. Isaac Higgins at the 17-yard line.
That was a nice catch by Higgins.
They say he didn't get out of bounds. They hit the ground and then rolled out of bounds. They stopped the clock anyway as they